we made it to the finish line. In this video, we are going to complete the Web3 User Profile application that we have been building together. With that said, we are going to start issuing ERC wallets to all the users that created a user profile in the application. And as we mentioned in the beginning of this tutorial series, this is not the MetaMask wallet. We are going to generate on the fly an ERC wallet that will be assigned to the user so the user can transfer ERC-20 tokens between other members in the same platform. The user can exchange NFTs with that wallet and any other interaction in the application. What is a great benefit of doing this? Number one, we allow the user to interact with the application without having to pay transaction fees. So we take care of that transaction fee, plus the user has a wallet-less interaction in the app, which makes the user experience and engagement enjoyable. Because if I don't need a browser wallet to execute any action in the application, let's say we build a lottery game, which by the way, we are going to be doing that. With all this knowledge that I have been teaching you so far in this amazing tutorial, make sure that you know what we're doing in this entire training series, because I am going to be using this knowledge that we obtain here to build part of the ERC-20 token lottery game, in which the users who are holding ERC-20 tokens, and those are our custom ERC-20 tokens, by the way, we are going to be minting an ERC-20 token smart contract in this video. I'm not going to go too much in details on that because I have a couple of good videos regarding that particular topic, including one that will teach you how to add value to the token. Here is the video if you want to see that. Okay, now back. So we are building a lottery game. In this lottery game, we are going to allow the users to play and buy lotto tickets using the internal wallet. Not the MetaMask wallet, the internal wallet. The only thing that a user needs the MetaMask wallet is to, number one, sign in onto the platform and to remain active on the platform, because we are going to be checking if that wallet has an NFT from our collection. We deployed this entire application with the idea that only holders from an NFT collection will be allowed to interact in the application. So that means that I will be constantly checking if the wallet that is connected to the application is holding NFTs from our collection, because we want to make sure that only the holders of a collection that we released are allowed to use the features, the services, everything that we have been providing as benefits. Back to the ERC tokens. I am going to be generating a custom ERC wallet. This wallet can be used to transfer NFTs between other users in the platform, can be used also to trade ERC-20 tokens to other users. It's just like a centralized exchange wallet. Now, here's the challenge. How can we make sure that the wallet is only manageable by us, the developers, and whoever is administering the platform? In order for you to have full control of a wallet, you need to have the private key, right? The moment I generate an ERC wallet, I will obtain the private key of the wallet that I just generated. I need to store that in a very safe location. IPFS is not going to be a very safe location because it's publicly accessible, even though that you need to have the CID. You need to come up somehow with the CID. We don't want to compromise the integrity of the platform because we decided to store the private key in the IPFS location where we are storing user data. Absolutely not. That's a disaster. We don't want to do that. Okay? So here's what we need to do. We are going to be using Mongo database. And if you haven't worked with Mongo database, don't worry. I am going to make a very simple function that you are going to see, hey, that's not too hard. But I strongly recommend you to look at another video that I have where I teach you MongoDB, how to integrate your Web3 application and start also using MongoDB, which we know is not Web3, but allows you to integrate a NoSQL database, which is very straightforward. It's not rocket science. It's something that you can do right away. I am telling you, if you watch this video right now, you will understand and work with MongoDB in no time, okay? And I am talking about the MongoDB Atlas, the cloud-based database, okay? So back to the action. We are generating the wallet, okay? Check this out. We are generating that wallet. The moment I make the call using Ethers and generate that ERC wallet, I'm going to obtain a private key. It will be spitting out a private key. I need to grab that private key and I need to store that in Mongo database. So I need to make an API call. By the way, it's a post. I just do a post to Mongo database. I am going to send that information. And if you don't know how to do this, don't worry. This tutorial, I am going to show you how to do it. And I obtained the private key. We got the private key. I need to associate that private key to the user who's creating the account. What attributes should we use besides the private key so we know that this external wallet belongs to this internal wallet, or at least is related to the internal wallet, okay? The external wallet address, okay? So what I'm going to do, I am going to send to Mongo database the private key and the external wallet. This is the MetaMask wallet that the user is using to connect to the platform. I am sending that address so I know the moment that user reconnects and we have the function to obtain all relevant information from that particular user. In this case, we'll use the wallet, and then from there we can obtain the IPFS information, the picture, everything, because we're going to be using that wallet to call the smart contract, obtain the data that was stored in the smart contract, obtain the CID, call IPFS, grab all the data, display that in the front end, and also I am going to call Mongo database and I'm going to do a filter, which is basically a function or a property that I need to specify in the options when I do the API get to get me the information for this particular wallet address, which at the end, what it's going to do is going to give me the private key of that particular internal wallet that was associated to that user. So we will obtain that, and from there, I can map that wallet to variables. And now I can use that wallet to interact for that user. Let's say the first thing we have to do, we have to provide the capability to that user to withdraw those ERC-20 tokens that we will be depositing as a bonus for opening the account. We need to provide the user the capability of withdrawing those funds, just like a centralized exchange. So what we're going to do, I am going to grab the private key and I'm going to build a function that will allow the user to just paste the wallet, the destination wallet, where he or she would like to withdraw the funds. Last video is going to be long, but trust me, after this, you should be comfortable that you can tackle a major Web3 project that involves user accounts. We did it in a very creative way. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let's make this happen. Alrighty, we are back. Let's go ahead and finalize this beauty. What we're going to do now, we have to make sure that only users who are holding NFTs in their browser wallet, in this case in MetaMask, are allowed to open accounts. The rest of the users are denied. We are going to take out anyone that is not holding NFTs in the collection from using the platform. Let's go ahead and do it real quick. And by the way, this is a summary of what we did in video number 1, and I am going to leave the video description over here. Okay, let's go. First things first, I already got an NFT smart contract. What I have to do, I have to bring that address. I am going to import the address in my config file so we can query that smart contract against the user wallet to make sure that the user is holding an NFT. All we have to make sure is that at least one NFT is held in that wallet. Okay, let's do it. We are going to be exporting a constant here. I am going to create a constant called NFT contract. We're going to be building this constant right here. And what we need to do, we have to paste the contract address. I already have my NFT collection deployed. I'm just going to copy the value. I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. And there we go. So we got the NFT collection address right here. Awesome. Let me go ahead and save. Now let's do the following. Now on the Web3 Connect file, we already coded the itConnect function. What is this function doing? It's basically allowing the user to connect onto the platform. This will be called all the time. The moment the user logs into the platform, we will make a call to itConnect and we will validate the wallet address. And we are already obtaining the value right here. Why don't we grab this same value and make the call to the NFT collection to verify if that wallet is holding NFTs? Why don't we do that? Let's do that. Let's take the opportunity. We already have the function. Let's make this happen. So you remember that we coded the NFT collection smart contract address. We exported this. Now let's go ahead and import it right here. So what I'm going to do under client, because we are already importing client from config, let's import the NFT collection. NFT contract. This is the address of the smart contract. Okay, awesome. Now, here's the thing. We have to build a call to the NFT collection and then query wallet of owner, okay? Which basically what it's going to do, it's going to query the NFTs and see if that wallet is holding NFTs from the collection. But what have we learned in this tutorial? And what have we learned in all my tutorials? If we want to interact with the blockchain with a web front end, we need to have what? The ABI. For every contract that you're going to be interacting in the web front end, you need to have the ABI. I already got the NFT collection smart contract ABI. I already exported that. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to create a new file, and let's call this NFT ABI JSON. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to paste the ABI for this particular smart contract. If you need to have access to the smart contract file, I am going to leave the link to the NFT collection, to a sample NFT collection that you can play with. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and paste. This is the ABI for the NFT collection, so then we can make those calls. And you can see it right here. We got wallet of owner. That's the function that we need to call to confirm that the user is holding NFTs. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now we got that. Now this file, I have to import it in here. Okay, so then I can make my contract call. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be importing, and let's label this NFT ABI. From where? From the NFT ABI.json file. That's it. Okay, awesome. Now let's label the call. So what I need to confirm, it's that I need to obtain the address as a string so that I can make the call to the NFT smart contract. So check this out. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to be building a constant called NFT contract. Okay, and we're going to say new ethers. Okay, this is how we make the call to the contract, and we already have this. If I want to go lazy mode, this is what I will do. I will go to config. We already have another syntax. So let me just grab this syntax. This is work smart, not hard. Okay, so we're just going to copy this entire thing. I'm just going to paste it here, right? But then obviously we're going to modify this and NFT contract. Okay, now I have to replace this with what? With the NFT contract value. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. NFT contract. Beautiful. I have to point to what? To the ABI. What's the ABI value? NFT ABI. There you go. Beautiful. Now I need to make sure that I'm making this call as the connected user, as the wallet that got connected onto the platform, not as the internal updater wallet that we coded in the previous video. We are going to make this call as if the user was making the call. What do I have to pass? The signer, because the moment the user connects their MetaMask wallet, this gets built, okay? And then we have this constant that we can use to send calls on behalf of the user, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to replace this. This is going to be the caller. In this case, it's the signer. the connected wallet. Okay, awesome. So now we have a full-blown NFT smart contract function right here that we can just call, and it will query the smart contract that we provided, this address. Okay. And by the way, we have to label this because there's already a variable label like this. So I'm just gonna, let's label this to be NFT contract, CTR, okay? And now we're pointing to the address, okay? So now everything should be good. And yeah, okay, so we have a value for contract. This is duplicated, so let me just delete this. Cool, awesome, perfect. Now, how do I make the call to wallet of owner? Very simple. Like we saw this on the previous video, how to make calls, but I'm just going to do a refresher. Okay, and now we got this ready to go. What do I need to do now? I want to build another function that will leverage this because we're calling this all the time. Let's just use whatever this function provides and reuse that in another function. And you're saying, how the hell are you going to do that? Very simple. We're going to make another function to check the NFTs. Let's make this to be exportable because we need to obtain the value so then we can determine if the user is holding NFTs. Async function, and this one, it's going to be called check NFTs, okay? Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is the following. Check this out. Pay attention. Pay attention. I need to store the output of ETH Connect. So right now, what we're doing is we are exporting or we are returning when this function gets called, we are returning address string, okay? I need to also return this because I need to use this on another function. Check this out. I am going to now put brackets. I'm going to say NFT CTR. There you go. Awesome. Now I'm returning two things. Now I can use this in the next function. Check this out. Constant wallet data. Let's call this to be wallet data, okay? And now I need to await. I am going to await ETH Connect. When that function gets called, I will be storing whatever we got from this particular call here and here, okay? Cool, awesome. All right, check this out. Now I need to obtain this particular function or this particular call so then I can query wallet of owner, okay? Let's check this out. You're learning a lot. Now constant, it's going to be NFT the contract, okay? And now I need to obtain that value from here because remember, we are storing whatever the return from this function right here is going to be stored in this particular var. How do we obtain this value? So we can reuse it. Simple. The variable name dot what? Beautiful. NFT CTR. There you go. Now we have effectively obtained the value from this first call, and we're going to reuse this value on the second function. There you go. Awesome. Now I can make my call. Let's call this constant check balance. Okay, so we're going to be checking the balance from this wallet. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, there's another function that I can call in the smart contract called balance of, and it's just going to give me the number of NFTs. If I call wallet of owner and I made a mistake, a wallet of owner will not give you the amount of NFTs. It will give you the NFT IDs, which we will use because we want to show the NFT ID in the display page, in the front page, okay? So what I'm going to be calling right now here from the smart contract, we are going to be querying the blockchain, and I am going to be obtaining the amount of NFTs held in that wallet, okay? So check this out. This is how I'm going to do it. I want to export that value as a number. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to type number, and then I'm going to wrap the call inside the particular parenthesis right here, and we are going to be making the call. Await. What am I going to await? NFT con, okay? And balance of. balance of. That call is inside the smart contract. Okay, so this is one function that we can call, and it's a public function. Because it's public, we can use the user's wallet, the wallet that got connected, to make that call. Okay, balance of, and what I need to pass. How can I confirm the amount of NFTs? What do I have to provide to the smart contract? The address of that wallet. How do we pass this address? Well, guess what? We need another var. Constant wallet address. Let's call this wallet address. And how do I obtain the wallet address here? Remember, we're also passing the value from ETH-Connect. You already know how to do this. Wallet data, once again, because this is the response. This is what I'm storing from this call, which is going to return all this. And from here, we are going to extract that value. Wallet data dot what? Address string. Beautiful. Now I have the wallet address. Okay, wallet address. There you go. Now we are calling the smart contract and obtaining this value. Now we will know how many NFTs is that wallet holding. And now I need to say what? A value of, okay? Because I want to obtain this. And SmartFi, I gotta close this right here. There we go. Now I am making a number, right? I am obtaining the value of this call. It's going to be returned as a promise, but I want to extract what the information is from that call. Then make sure that this is a number, okay? Because we're gonna be doing a comparison. We're doing an if and else, which means that I need to have a number value, so I can say if this number is higher than 0, then consider this to have NFTs, okay? Cool. So now we have the balance stored here. Now we can use that balance. We can use that value, okay? Check this out. Now I'm going to do that if and else. I'm going to do if what? If check balance, okay, is more. It's more than 0. Guess what? The user is holding an NFT. Because if this value is more than 0, it means that the user is holding an NFT. Okay, now I need you to return me that balance. Meaning that if it matches, I want you to tell me what's the amount. Okay? Else, guess what you're going to do? You're going to tell me that as well. Return what? Else, return 0. The user doesn't have NFTs, and I need that value because I am going to determine if I need to kick the user out of the platform or I can leave the user on the platform, okay? Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, awesome. We are going to do another function. I want to make a call that will tell me the NFT that the user is holding, okay? So with that said, I can either make it here or make it in the index page. Let's go ahead. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do it here so then the index page is cleaner. We don't want to have a lot of functions in the index page. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Awesome. So we're going to say now export async function sign in user. This function is effectively called after the user gets confirmed that it's holding NFTs, okay? But I still need to obtain the information from ETH-Connect because now what I want to do, I want to display one of those NFT IDs from that user wallet. So then the user knows that, hey, with this NFT, you're able to log into the portal. We're just gonna display that token ID onto the front page, okay? So let me go ahead and do constant wallet data. Once again, I'm just gonna export all this, okay? Because we're gonna be using this information. Okay. Now, what I have to do instead of check balance, let's say get NFT ID, okay? And here we're going to replace this with a different call. We're going to say await the same smart contract, NFT.hunt. And we're going to say wallet of owner. Okay. Now I need to tell the smart contract, check me this wallet address and tell me the NFT IDs. Now we are going to obtain the NFT IDs. But guess what? We are reusing, oh, by the way, I didn't close this properly. There you go. Awesome. Now it's closed. Awesome. So I am effectively using this call to do multiple things. So I don't need to create functions to do exactly the same thing. I can just nest, right? So now we are just doing the same call once again. And it's a read call, so there's no transaction fees. It's just a pulling public data, okay? So we got that. Now we got get NFT ID, okay? Now what I have to do, well, guess what? I am going to obtain the value at least one NFT, okay? I don't need to display all the NFTs that the user is holding. All I need to have is at least one NFT ID, so then I can show the user, hey, because of this NFT, you're able to log into the portal. And we're going to show this in the front page. Let me show you the front end. Here, next to ID, I am going to be showing the ID, the NFT ID that wallet in the MetaMask wallet is holding. And that is, quote, your passport. Because of that NFT ID, you're able to connect to the platform, okay? So let me go back. Cool, awesome. This value, check this out. This value, it's going to return an array. Why? Because if the user has multiple NFTs, it's going to be displayed in brackets. So it's going to show the array, and if the user is holding NFT 10, 11, 12, you're going to see 10, 11, 12. We have to obtain, and as a matter of fact, I am not going to obtain the value. So I want to explain to you how you can extract easily values from an array. So we're going to do console log, and then I want to get the value here. Okay, awesome. Well, so circle back to this one. Okay, cool. We have saved this file. Now what I have to do, I have to go to index, and I'm going to be importing both functions. I want to make sure that I'm importing this function, and then I'm going to be importing this function. Okay, let's go back to index.js. Cool. Now what I have to do with from Web3 Connect, I am going to be exporting those new functions that I just created. Checked NFTs and sign in user. Okay, cool. We have imported this into the index page. Let's do something very quick just to validate. We are going to build a button so that you can see the export output. Okay, so we can see what will happen and make sure that it's working. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I am going to be creating a button for check NFTs and another button for signing user. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm just going to do it real quick, just as a demo, and we'll place that button below profile info. Let's just do it below profile info. Profile info. Here we go. Now, okay. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to create button, and we will say on click. I want you to run this, which is the check NFTs, okay? And we're gonna say check NFTs, and let's build another button. Now, you know what? Let's label this correctly. Total NFTs, but this is temporarily. This is not gonna stay here. It's just for us to validate that the functions are working. And now the second function is gonna be called sign in user. Cool deal. And now we're going to say show NFT IDs, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run a console log and give me this value. That's all we're doing. Then we will modify this. Okay. Show NFT IDs. Okay. Now we're going to press Control S, and now we should have the buttons in the front end. There we go. Total NFTs and show NFT IDs. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, first of all, I want to make sure that my wallet is connected. So yeah, I do have a wallet. It's this wallet right here. I'm on the Polygon Mumbai testnet. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to open my console. Let me do this. Let me refresh. Cool deal. Okay. Now let's call this function. It's not working. And the reason why it's not working is because there's no console log. It's a return. Okay. So what I can do is either put a console log right here. You know, I can say, console log. And then I can say check balance. That's one way of doing it, right? And we'll have to do it the same way here below. Or the other one, and I think this is going to be the best use case, why don't we make this call from index? Now that we have imported the function, let's make the call on index. And now let's do the console on the index page, okay? So we already have this, but now I will have to change this right here. So what I'm going to do, check this out. I am going to create two async functions. Async function, let's call this check get total NFTs. And we are going to open here and we're going to say constant data or output, let's call this output, equals await. What are we going to await? Check NFTs. That's the function that we imported, right? Now, once that function hits completed and we get that return value, then we're going to do the console log of what? Of output. That's it. That's how you bring the value that is being returned here from this function to the index page. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, wait, this function, whatever you return, show it on the console log, okay? I'm gonna save it, and now I have to map this to the button. So let's go ahead and get total NFTs and get total NFT IDs. Get total NFT IDs. There we go. Get total NFTs, and now let's give it a shot. Refresh. There we go. We got one NFT in that wallet. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see. So we got only one NFT, but that's great, which means that I have more than 0 NFTs. So that means that wallet is authorized, okay? Now let's make sure that we can show the NFT IDs, okay? I want to see what ID is that wallet holding. So let's go back. Let me go back to the function. Now I have to do something similar to the other function. I'm just gonna go here, copy, boom, 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 boom. And now I'm going to say get NFT IDs. This is just to test. We know that is working. Okay, now we're going to say sign in user, because this is a function that we're going to be using to finally sign in the user. But now I want to see what output am I going to get. Now I have to map this to the button. So let's go ahead and map it to the button. Get NFT IDs. There we go. Boom. Saved. Let's test it out. Okay. Show NFT IDs. It's an array. Okay. This is what I want to happen, because I'm going to show you how can we obtain the actual ID from here. You can see in hex x03, which is 3. So the ID is NFT3, but it's in hex value. So we have to convert this into a integer. Okay, let's do that. Very simple. Check this out. Let's go back. We're going to convert this from hex to integer. So let's go here. Now we know that the output it's obtained. The output obtained it's a hex. Now I'm going to say NFT ID. Right? We are going. Let's say NFT ID raw. It's still going to be hex. Okay. So what I'm going to do. How do you obtain? Let me go back. Let me show you. How do we obtain? Let's say you have more than one NFT on that call. In the array, you have multiple NFTs. What do you need to do to obtain a particular NFT value? Okay. How do you do it? Every array, every position in the array starts with 0. So the first key, that's called the key. And the key in the array is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say you have NFT number 10, 12, 13, whatever. In that same order, if you want to only obtain the value for 10, the first NFT, you have to output 0. And you have to do that in the bracket. Let me show you. And this is how you obtain a single value from that array. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do output, and check this out. Boom. That's how we obtain the first value in that array. Let's say you have multiple NFTs. This is how we're going to obtain the first value. Everything starts with, the array always starts with 0. So the first value is 0. Okay. Now, if I want to output that, let me show you what will happen if I now try to print that in the console. I want to display this in the console. Let me go and open back here, refresh. Let's see what the output will look like. Output is undefined. Let's see what happened here. You know what? There is a nested output here, or there is a nested item that we have to take care of first. We have a problem here. That means that I am not obtaining what I'm supposed to be obtaining here. So this is something else. I got to do the following. I got to do return get NFT ID. That was me. Okay, so we're good there. Let me give it a shot again and see what will happen. Okay, now we have effectively deconstructed that array. We took out that single value from the array. Okay, awesome. And by the way, just to refresh, I was just doing in a console log. I was not actually returning the value so then I can deconstruct the value in this other function, right? So we have to take out the output 0, which is the first item in that array, but I was not returning the actual array. I was just returning a console log, so this was not going to work. Okay, cool. So we got that, but it's still showing hex. How do we convert this to string? Or how do we convert this to integer? Very easy. No problem. Check this out. I'm going to do this. Close it. Dot to string. There you go. Check this out now. Let's go back. You like that. You like that. There you go. You converted from hex to string by just doing to string. That's it. If you want to convert this into a number, just wrap that again as a number. Come on, come on. I know you can do this. I know you can definitely do this. Check this out. Number. And let's wrap once again. So I am deconstructing it, converting it into a string, and then converting it into a number. And now we should obtain this value as a number. Let's go back. Refresh. Check now. Numbers. There you go. All in one shot. Cool. Let's continue. Enough with the talking. Okay, now we have NFT ID number 3. So we know that that wallet is holding NFT ID number 3. You know what I want to do? I want to display this in the front end. Where I want to display this next to ID, right here. So the user knows that it's holding NFT ID number 3, and with NFT ID number 3, he's able to log in into the portal. Okay, let me show you something. What we need to do now, we have to obtain that value and use state. Do a hook so that we can pass that value into HTML. What I'm going to do, check this out. I am going to be importing the React hooks. Allows me to use those functional components in the app, and I can pass information back and forth. I can do a lot of things. This is one of the hooks. There's many hooks, okay? But this is one of them. So I'm going to do the following. I am going to be using useEffect. And if you don't know useEffect and useState, I have a couple of good videos. As a matter of fact, I use this all the time. I will strongly recommend that you look at my other tutorials. I am pretty sure anything that has to do with front end, I am using useState and useEffect. So it should be good, okay? But you should be able to learn a lot from this particular section right now. useEffect from, as a matter of fact, I can just autocomplete, useState, boom. And now I'm just gonna do comma, useEffect. Now we have both, okay? Cool, now what I want to do, I want to obtain and save this value in as a user state. And by the way, I as a use state. So I don't need it to be a number. I want this to be just a string, just, you know, a string. I don't need that value to be a number. I just wanted to show you how you can do this, okay? Now, what I have to do is the following. I have to build that use state hook. So this is what I'm going to be passing to HTML, NFT ID, and then I am going to get NFT ID, okay? And I am going to say equals use state, okay? And I am expecting the value to be a string So right now, this is just going to be filled. This is the initial state. Its NFT ID will just be filled with nothing. Okay, it's not until I update that by calling this hook right here, which is going to update this value, and then this is what's going to be passed to HTML. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get NFT ID, and I'm going to pass this value into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Get NFT ID, and I'm going to open. I'm going to say NFT ID raw. That's the value. Okay, so let me just remove this. Let me now type NFT ID raw. And I'm going to save it. And now I have this value that I can use in HTML. So I am just going to copy that output. So the moment this gets stored into this use state, I can now use this as the hook and send it to HTML. NFT ID, let's find the section in HTML where it says ID. There we go, ID. Check this out. I'm just going to open the brackets and paste NFT ID. That should provide me the NFT ID in the front end. Okay, let's go ahead and test it. Let's go back and let me refresh. Crossing fingers. There you go. Awesome. Alrighty, so now the user has NFT ID number 3. The user knows that that's the NFT that he's holding or she's holding in that MetaMask wallet and is allowing the connection onto the platform. Okay, now let's do the following. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to be checking constantly. We know that this is working, so I am going to be removing those buttons. Let me go ahead here. Just take this thing out of here. Now what I have to do is I have to constantly check and enforce that a wallet must be connected. And by doing that, I can obtain the value of the NFT that's been held and display that on screen. But let's say the wallet doesn't have any NFTs, then I can determine and do the action. We're going to be using a use router, which is a Next.js hook that we can use to redirect or kick the user, send them to another page. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to do a use effect to create that loop that is just going to run endlessly, checking every 2 seconds that the wallet that is connected, give me the NFT ID, give me the NFT ID. The moment there's no NFT IDs, kick them out. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to bring that function here. So we're going to say that functional component. We're going to bring that hook right here, use router. Now we're going to be using use router. And now I have to do the following. I'm going to create that constant. That's going to be router equals use router, open and closed. Okay, cool. Now what I have to do, I am going to build a use effect. So the use effect is basically going to trigger if there is an update to a component, I am going to be triggering the use effect. So that means that if there's a value that changed, that component changed its state, I am going to do some action. Okay. I want to make sure that the wallet is checked every 2 seconds. Okay. Which means that I need to be checking this function every 2 seconds. Okay. What we can do is the following. Check this out. I am going to be creating this use effect. I'm going to type use effect. Okay. And we are going to open that and we're going to specify which effect. The effect that I'm going to do, I am going to be checking that wallet. How? I am going to create a constant check authentication. We're going to call this check off. Okay. And we're going to say set an interval, meaning that in X interval, I want you to run this. Okay. And then I am going to specify this function right here to be the action, which is what? Check NFTs. Okay, that's it. Now I have to tell the use effect, how often do you want me to check that? Okay, now we're going to do that. We're going to close the brackets. Check this out. I am going to close the brackets. Let's do it right here so it looks cleaner. I am going to close that bracket and I'm going to press comma And now I can set the number, and this is the timer, and it's measured in milliseconds. So in this case, what I have to do, I have to say 2000 milliseconds is 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, this function is just gonna run, 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 run. Okay, it's never gonna stop. Okay, and we're gonna close this parenthesis. Cool. But now I need to make sure that I triggered this use effect so then it continues doing so, because else it's just going to run once and it's just going to stop after 2 seconds. I have to make sure that this endlessly continues. Okay, check this cool thing out. I love this thing, by the way. As a matter of fact, I got to do this. Now I got to return that whatever was again. How do I clear the interval? So this triggers the interval every 2 seconds, but then I have to clear that so then it starts once again with clear interval. We type clear interval, okay? Now we are saying when it clears out, I want you to do this. Loop it, check off, okay? And that's about it. I don't need this, by the way. And I'm just gonna store this here because it's basically something that I can tell if I want to update that for any other value, I can do so, but not for this particular section. Now I effectively, after 2 seconds, I am going to be returning this. This is the action. After this is done, then I'm gonna call this, but this is actually going to call this once again. It's just gonna do it for 2 seconds, checking this, and then returning it once again. Okay? Okay, awesome. And by the way, it's not check NFTs. I need to call a local function. I realized that it's not check NFTs. Check NFTs is gonna give me the return. It's gonna give me the value, but I need to check something else because I need to trigger the action to kick the user out. Okay? So this is not here, but that's what we need to do. Okay? So now what I have to do here, I have to, in this function, which we're just going to leverage, we're going to call this check wallet, okay? And now we are going to call check wallet here, okay? Okay, so we are calling check wallet, and now I can check NFTs, okay? So sorry about that, because I have to check the wallet, then I got to obtain the value here. So now check NFT IDs will give me the total NFTs, okay, in this output. Now what I have to do is do an if and else, okay? So now what I have to do is type if output, right, equals exactly to 0, meaning that I should be expecting output not to be 0. But if it's 0, we're going to use that router push. But here's what we're missing. This is basically it. When it checks the wallet, every 2 seconds, it's going to check the wallet. It's going to check the NFTs. Depending if the output matches 0, that means it doesn't have an NFTs. Then we have to kick that user out to another page. So let me build a quick page. Let's build a deny page. 2 seconds. Not going to take so long. New page, and let's call this denied.js. Okay. And let's just build this real quick. As a matter of fact, I got it here. We're not going to deal too much with this. I'm just going to copy this. I have a cheat sheet right here too. Okay. So basically what I'm doing, export default function, and this is HTML, open, and then I'm just going to show this title, access denied. That's all I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to save it. This is the deny page. Okay. If you want to see the deny page, we can show the deny page. Just press here and type denied. And there you go. That's what the user should see if the user is not holding NFTs. Okay, let's go back. Okay, now we're going to go back here and let's finalize this. Okay, now I can say router push. Where do we want to push that user? We want to push that to denied, and we can just open here and say denied. Okay, and just return. Okay, that's it. Else, let him in. And the moment he matches 0, that wallet, that check NFTs matches 0, kick him out. S, done. Okay, now we have to test. Let's do it. Let me just refresh. And now I don't see the NFT ID because I took it out. You know, as a matter of fact, let's just add that back. NFT ID, NFT ID. And now I have to say else. I have to do another use effect just to get the NFT ID, okay? So, matter of fact, I can even do it. Okay, no worries, never mind. Now what we can do is right now we know that this wallet is holding at least one NFT. Let me switch myself to a wallet that is not holding any NFTs. I am pretty sure this one is not. So let's go ahead and cross fingers. Oh, awesome, awesome. If I go back and try to be smart, I went back. Nobody, you're not going to be able to join the party. Go back, boom, awesome. Now we have the application strictly for NFT holders, okay? Now we need to make sure that when the user connects onto the platform, we display the NFT ID and we also provide the wallet to the platform so we can display the wallet address, and then we have that value that we can use to make other calls, because the idea is to get the wallet address so then we can make calls and then we can update IPFS, we can update the user database smart contract because we're providing the wallet address. So let's go ahead and now use the sign in user function that we built and make sure that we can set a use state so then we can store that data. Check this out, it's very simple. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I have this function right here, get NFT IDs, okay? So I want to now run this when the user joins the site or when the user loads the index page. I want to auto run this. So what we're going to do, we're going to do another use effect, okay? Use effect. And it's going to be very similar to this. As a matter of fact, you can see that I love copy and pasting. Why not, right? But this time, I don't need to make this loop, right? All I have to do is I want to run this function, get NFT IDs, which is the function that we built below here. You can see it right there. Okay, so we're going to be running get NFT IDs, right? I am obtaining the value of that NFT, okay? But also, I am obtaining the value of the wallet. But we haven't determined this here, okay? How can we determine this? Check this out. Let's go back. And we know that it-connect provides me also the wallet address. So why don't we export that and send it in this function? So then we can return that promise and use that value. So now I am only returning get NFT ID. Guess what? All I have to do is basically the same thing. I am going to bring this here, and I am going to say, comma, wallet address, okay? And now I am effectively returning two values, okay? Now, I am going to save this, and let's go back to index. Now, because this value, there's an additional, you can see it right here. There's two values on output. Now, because I modified the function to return two different values. So now I have to say output dot get NFT ID and then the actual value, okay? So what I'm gonna do, check this out, output get NFT ID, and now we are exporting the value from the array because now we're returning two different values, okay? And we can just continue the same function and obtain the same value, okay? Now, what I have to do is get a wallet, and then what am I going to import here? Output wallet address, which is what we already returned in the function, okay? So now we are returning wallet address, which then we can use in this particular section, okay? Cool. Now, with that said, I need to create this use state, okay? Same way as we did with this one, so then we can display the NFT ID, we are going to return this one as well. And that tells me that the user is connected, because the only way that the user can connect onto the platform is if the MetaMask is connected and this value gets populated, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to grab here Okay, and I'm going to say copy, and I'm going to paste the same, but now I need to say get wallet. Okay, and now we are going to call this wallet. Okay, how do I trigger this? So it changes every time that a user connected their wallet. I'm just going to type wallet, which I am going to do. What that's going to do, it's going to re-trigger this use effect. So if this value changed, or it got a state change, so it changed the value, it's going to trigger this get NFT IDs once again. I am using it to trigger this hook, this use effect. So if this value changed, then I want you to go ahead and run this, okay? And with that said, as a matter of fact, I have to do this. Let me put this below the get NFT ID so that we know that this is going to be here. That looks good. Okay, awesome. Now I want to display the wallet address next to personal wallet, just as informational. And also I should be able to obtain the NFT ID. So because if we go back, oh, there we go. Okay, now we are definitely showing that. So if I refresh, we're definitely getting the NFT ID. That's good. And now I can actually show the wallet, the MetaMask wallet address right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find this value, personal wallet, or this HTML value, this heading, and then I'm just going to add a wallet next to it. Okay. And wallet is basically here. All right. So let's copy wallet and let's find that. And where are you? Personal wallet. We're looking for personal wallet. There we go. Awesome. In H6, if you can see, I already have like a heading 6, a size title like heading 6. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place wallet right here. Wallet. There we go. Save. Let's look. Beautiful. There you go. So that's the wallet, MetaMask wallet address. Okay. Awesome. Now the user can see their NFT ID. And this is the NFT that's been used to connect to the platform, and also the personal wallet. We have protected the application to only NFT holders. Awesome. If I change my wallet, let's make sure that this is the case. Go back. I should be kicked out. Perfect. Let me change myself back to the other wallet. And let's go back. And we should be staying right here. Cool. Awesome. I'm not getting kicked. Now, next thing that we have to do, we have to provide the user the capability of changing its profile picture or avatar. I literally mentioned avatar here, profile picture. Whichever is the case, the user must have a profile picture in the application. Let's code the following. Let's build the function so that we can pin the picture or send the picture to IPFS. Obviously, we'll get the CID once the picture gets uploaded onto IPFS, and we'll send the information to the smart contract, okay? All right, so now let's do the following. Let me go back into code, okay? Let's go under the Web3 Connect, and let me do two functions. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do two functions. The first function, it's going to send the file, the picture file, to IPFS, to our local IPFS node. The second function, it's going to send the CID value into the user struct in the smart contract. Okay? Once we are done with the import, we should be able to obtain not only the user account details, but also the picture CID. Okay, so we should be getting two different CIDs, okay? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here, so in order for us to do this, we have to build a function that obviously we have to export. So we're going to be exporting async function. Let's call this change picture or change pic. And we are going to call file, okay? So if you remember earlier, if I want to pass data from another file or another section in the application, in this case from index, I am passing it using data. So it lands in the function, I execute the function, and then I can obtain whatever data I need. Okay, so that's how I'm going to be passing data. So the same thing is going to go with file. So we're building this variable called file. So when the user clicks the browse or clicks the button to browse and upload the picture, this gets attached to a target file. And you're going to see this in index. This is how we send data into the web application, right? We'll grab that, we'll store this in file, and then we'll pass it to the function that we're building. This function, what it's going to do, it's going to send the information to IPFS. We're going to be using the client add the same way as we were using to pin the details of that user account. We're going to be using the same function, okay? Okay, so now what I have to do, basically going to do the same thing. So as a matter of fact, I am going to copy this. It's exactly the same thing. We're sending it to IPFS, but in this case, instead of data, what we need to send? File. That's the picture file, right? Awesome. Now we need to do the following. We are going to obtain the URI, okay? In this case, this is exactly the output that we should be obtaining, but let's label this something different. Let's call this pic CID. Okay, let's call this pic CID, okay? Cool. So now we know that the moment I send that information to my local IPFS node, I should obtain back a CID under path. So under that return of that promise, we should get path. Now with that, I am going to obtain the picture CID value so then we can pass that onto the blockchain, okay? And store that to the user. And obviously we have to return because I will be expecting that value, right? So return, what are you going to return to me? Picture CID. That's it, okay? Cool. We need to use this in the index. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to build the function that is going to send the CID to the blockchain. And then we'll go to index and then we'll map and connect the buttons, okay? So we are going to do export async function. And let's call this add picture, okay? Okay, we're going to call this add picture. And inside this add picture, what do you think we need to send? The picture CID, okay? But you might be saying, oh yeah, but this is being exported, right? We're not importing it here. How are we going to obtain this value? No worries. I need to first grab this information in index and then pass it again. And I'm just gonna repass this once again, right? The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to display the picture in the web front end at the same time that I'm sending it to the blockchain. That's why I'm returning it back to index, but then I have to send it back to add picture so then it's stored in the blockchain, okay? In the smart contract. Cool, so what I'm gonna do now, I am going to say add picture, pic CID, and then let's build this magic function right here. First thing, obviously constant. And we said at the beginning of this training or this tutorial that I am going to be asking the user to pay the transaction fees because it's very likely that the user will like to change the picture often. So I am not going to be dealing with that transaction fee. So I am going to expect the user to pay that. Okay, so we're going to do that. User wallet. Okay, we are going to be calling the same way that we were calling this right here. Okay, so we are going to call await it connect, which is the beautiful function that we coded at the beginning of this training, where we are going to call all this. We're going to obtain the MetaMask wallet. The MetaMask wallet is going to integrate to the call. We can obtain the address and so forth. Okay, cool. Now what I'm going to do, once I get that call done, okay, I am going to be asking for the address, okay? As a matter of fact, I can actually do this. I can either call it straight in, right? So this is the wallet address, okay? So I'm just gonna paste it here because it's going to be from user wallet. So you can see here, user wallet, I should be expecting this back. So I'm gonna just use user wallet, which is basically the value that I assign here, whatever response or return we get from eConnect, and we can see what the return will be. I am going to get two things. I am going to get the address string, which is the value of the address, the MetaMask wallet address, and the NFT count, which we used previously to determine if the user is holding NFTs or not. Okay, so now in this case, I only need the address of the wallet because then I can use that address to call my user database smart contract, the contract that I store in the Web3 accounts, okay? Okay, now we are going to do this magic call to the smart contract. We are now going to send the data to the smart contract. Pay attention. Send pick CID. We're going to be sending that picture CID to the blockchain. Now I need to use the user database smart contract. Okay, so I need to be interacting with that smart contract. And here's the catch. I haven't imported this smart contract function. We have it built, but we haven't imported the function. What do I need to do? I need to import the address of the smart contract. Okay, and I have to build this function so then I can use the connected wallet as the sender of this transaction, which means that I have to do the following. We have to bring the user database smart contract call so then we can send the picture CID, okay? And let's take advantage of this call right here, which is already providing us the call using our updater wallet, okay? So what I'm going to do, I am going to be sending a user contract and then specifying the function. The function is update picture. If we go back into the smart contract, let me show you. And let's go down here. We are going to be calling this function. Once we pass this value, we need to pass to the smart contract, to the blockchain, the CID of the picture and the user wallet. So then it references the user storage location in the smart contract. Okay. Now let me go back. So now we know that we can use this call, which is calling the smart contract. And this is the same call that we were using to send the user details, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to import this, okay? Let's do it right here. We're gonna call user contract, there we go. Now we can definitely use this. There we go. Now we can definitely use this. All we have to do is import this. Okay, so we are going to be importing it here, user contract. This is all we need, okay? Now I can use this to send the information to the smart contract, and it's going to use the updater wallet to send that transaction. Internally, the user, all he or she has to do, it's provide the picture. That's it, okay? So let me go down here, okay? Now what we need to do is we need to create that call. We're gonna say constant send pick CID, okay? And we are going to say now, await, what am I going to await? The user contract. Then we're going to say what? What's the name of the function? Update picture, okay? What value do I need to pass to update picture? Picture CID. That's the value that we obtain from IPFS. We make the call and send this information to IPFS. We get the picture CID, but we will return this back to picture CID here from index. So you're going to see this now. We're going to send it back, and then we will send this to the blockchain. And I just need to say picture CID, and that's how we send the information. But remember, this is only one thing. In the smart contract, there were two things that it's going to ask this function so we can process: the picture CID, and the second thing is going to be the wallet, okay? And we already have this value right here. So let's go ahead and use this, okay? I'm going to say copy. I'm going to paste it. Awesome. Now we have send picture CID. We need to determine when this is done. I need to know. I need to know when this call has finished. So then I can complete the function, the call, okay? And then I can return whatever value it's back to index, so then I can continue calling every other thing that I need to, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, I am going to build another call, but this call is gonna say receipt. I need to confirm that this transaction completed. So what I need to do, check this out. I am going to await send pick CID. This is the call, right? And we are going to say .wait, okay? What this is going to do, it's going to await this to complete, so then I can acknowledge that receipt, that the transaction completed, okay? Once that's done, I am going to say if receive, meaning that I already got this with data on it, like it has a response. Now that means that you completed that transaction, which is going to return what? Complete. I'm just going to say complete, so then I can use this value. And then if I know that this is the value that I obtain, that means that this call was done. Like we already sent the information to the blockchain, so we should be good. Awesome. So we got this. Now let's go to index, because now we need to obtain this value so that we can finalize the call. Okay, now what I need to do, I have to make another function here to update the picture. But this is the call that we will associate to the browse button. So if we go back to the front end, we will click browse, and this is what we need to attach to the button, okay? So we are going to build this function now. Let's go back. Let's create this function. Let's call this function. Let's do it below here. Now, here's what we need to do. We're building a function that will allow us to send the picture to IPFS and to the blockchain. We need to use this function and apply that to the button. So when the user clicks browse, that's the button that we need to associate this call to, okay? Let's check this out. So I'm going to build async function, and I'm going to call this update picture, okay? And then we need to pass the E basically it's the file target. This is how we reference the file in the front end. We associate E, it's the character that I'm going to be using to pass the data, okay? And I'm going to, don't worry, you'll understand right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say constant file, because I need to obtain that file from the user, okay? How do I obtain that? I'm going to call E target. That's how we reference files that have been uploaded into the front end. And we're going to say files. And then we are going to say 0, okay? Cool, awesome. Now, with this file, now that I have the file, once the user passes the file, I can then send the picture CID. I can make the call to IPFS and obtain the picture CID. Now we are going to store that picture CID once IPFS provides that to us. But first we have to send that picture to IPFS. So let's do it. Await what? What's the function that we coded not long ago? Change picture, okay? And what do I need to pass? What do I need to pass here? File, okay? We're passing file to change pic. Once this entire function completes, this function should return to me the CID. The CID will be stored in picture CID. Now I have the picture CID. Now I can send the picture CID to the blockchain. And that is our second function, okay? We are going to await, right? This one, I don't need to do an await. What do I need to await? What's the name of the function that is going to send the picture to the blockchain? It's going to be add picture, okay? So what I need to pass to add picture is a picture CID. That's it, okay? So here, check it out. I'm going to go back to index, and I'm going to say await add picture. And what do I need to pass? The picture CID. There you go. That's it. Alrighty. Now when I do this, I should obtain a CID, and then I should make that call to the blockchain and update the picture, or at least update the picture CID. Got it? Now I have to do the following. I have to obtain the picture file so then I can display the picture back into the application. I don't need to, but ideally you want. So then the user sees the last picture, right? So what I have to do, let me first of all test and make sure that we can send pictures to IPFS. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that also I get the CID. So I want to do picture CID. Okay, and now what I have to do, I have to send that to the button. So let's see where that button was. It's going to be right above that. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, and where is update profile? Okay, here we go. How do you determine the browse button, or how you make that button the browse button? You type file. Okay, so on the input, you are going to make this a type of file, and then the front end is going to determine that it's a file upload, okay? And it's going to show that browse button. But now I have to make the call. You might think this is on click, but it's not an on click association. It's on change, because if I do on click, I am running the function, but I haven't even obtained the file from the user. So we need to wait for the user to give us the file first before we can move forward and send the call to IPFS. So what I need to do, instead of on click, it's going to be on change, meaning that the moment that value changed, that means that the user already provided the picture, then send the call, which is very different from on click, okay? Update pic. And this is how we are going to reference this to our function. And that should be up. Cool. Awesome. And now we have a console log. So I know that I'm going to obtain the CID the moment we upload that to IPFS. So I'm going to Control S. Let's go back. Let's give it a shot. Okay. So I'm going to do browse, and I want to make sure I get the CID value. Okay. So I'm going to open my console. Let me do browse. Let me select a picture here. Beautiful. Well, guess what? This is the picture, right? Now what happened in the back is that not only this got uploaded to IPFS, but we should also have the blockchain account updated as well. Okay, so this is the CID for IPFS. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to copy this and we're going to compare this with the smart contract. So let me go back. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to copy the address. I want to take a look here. At address, user database, right? This is the smart contract. Now I need to obtain my wallet address. So let me copy the wallet address so then we can do the search ourselves. And I want to obtain the picture. So we got the public here. Let me paste the wallet address and see what the CID is. Oh, now let's compare this value, okay? Let's see, copy here. Notepad, and I'm just going to do it real quick to make sure that this is exactly what we stored. Okay, this is what we obtained from the smart contract. Now let's find the value from the picture itself, and it looks like it. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So now this user has effectively updated its profile picture. We need to know another function. And after this function, we are moving into the ERC-20 wallet. Let's do it. This function, we need to show the picture. We need to show the username, the last name, email, and first name. We need to show every single information. So with that said, we need to do a function to get the account. Let's do it. In order for us to show the entire user data, we need to make two functions. One function in the Web3 Connect file. You are already aware of this one because we don't want to show everything in index.js, else the function or the entire config is going to look very crowded. We want this to be clean. So we are going to be moving all the calls that we are going to be doing to IPFS and the blockchain to the Web3 Connect file. Only I need to obtain in index.js is the actual value, so then I can show that in HTML. That's all I'm going to be doing, okay? So with that said, I need to make a function here. We're going to do another function. Yes, another function. This function is going to be called export async because we're still importing this in index.js. This will be called function get account, okay? So we're going to be calling get account. And we are going then to do the following. What is the first thing that we need to obtain? The user wallet. So we can call the blockchain because now we need to first call the blockchain, obtain the CID, so then we can call IPFS and then obtain the files. Obtain the value, obtain the picture, obtain everything, okay? So what I have to do, I got to do constant, and we are going to say user data because this is the entire data that the user has in the blockchain and IPFS. Obviously, what are we going to call first? Connect, because this is where we obtain the wallet address of that user. The moment the user connects their MetaMask wallet, we will make this call and obtain all that information in real time. Okay. Now, with that said, I have to do the following. I have to do another variable called user contract because we need to call the user database smart contract so that we can find the CIDs. User contract. Okay, we are going to say what? User data. This is the output that we obtain from each call. And we are going to call, actually, I don't have this imported. So let me do the following. I am going to be importing that. So I don't necessarily need to do it. All I have to do, it's called the contract directly. But here's the thing. Check this out. I cannot use user contract because user contract, it's being executed using the updater wallet. And we need to call the smart contract to give us the information related to a particular wallet. Okay, so what I have to do, let me think this one. Yes, absolutely. I have to do it because we're calling a public function. I need to use the wallet that got connected, and that wallet has the rights because it's a public read function. Okay, so what I have to do is send this information into directly using the user's wallet, which means that I have to import the user smart contract so then it's called using the signer and not the updater wallet. Not a problem. Let's see how can we do this. I can do the following. I am going to go to config, check this out. I am going to be using this value right here, user DB address, and build the entire call. So what I have to do, let's go to Web3 Connect, right? And I am going to be importing that value as well because I need to use that. There we go, user DB address, okay? Let's leverage the ETH Connect so then I can make the call the same way. I'm going to obtain both contracts. If I need to make a call to either of those contracts, I can do so, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say user CTR, okay? And now we are going to say Ether's contract, but this is where we need to change this value to be the user DB address, okay? And, I have to also import the user ABI, okay? So let's do that. Import user ABI from where? From the file, because we already have the user database ABI right here. Okay, cool, awesome. Now we can say user ABI here. And finally, this will be executed by the user, by the wallet. Okay, awesome. So now I need to just make sure that I can return this so then I can use it down below. So I'm going to just grab here, comma, and type user contract. Cool. Looking good, looking good. Now I can make magic happen. So what I can do here, it's user data, right? And I can call that user contract. There we go. Now I can use this to make my calls. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. We're getting there. Okay, now here's what we need to do. We need to obtain the user CID, or this is the data, the file, the first name, last name. This will be the user database. No, this will be the user account struct data, which is the first name, last name, email, and username. So with that said, I have to call the, I believe there is two public functions. Let me go back to the smart contract. And you got the function to obtain the picture. All I need to send is the user wallet, which we will do. But now if I want to obtain the account information, right? I just need to send the wallet and I need to call this a public function from Next.js. In this case, from our function, okay? So I have to call this function right here, and I got to call this function. And then later we will be calling the ERC pay, which is the private wallet or the internal wallet, okay? Okay, awesome. So I'm going to be calling picture and account. Cool, let's go back. So what I have to do here, I am going to say, well, first of all, I have to pass the wallet address. So what I'm going to say is user wallet equals, again, we are obtaining this information from ETH Connect. So I just need to call this again, user data dot what? Address. This is the wallet address. Awesome. So now we have the user wallet address. Now I can make the call. What do I need to obtain from this call? This is a read call to the smart contract. I am going to obtain the user data URI, or in this case, the user data CID. So check this out. I am going to say constant user CID, and I have to make the call to the blockchain. User CTR, that's the contract. And what do I need to call? Underscore accounts, okay? And that's it's underscore accounts. Oh, it's single. It's not plural. So let's go back. Okay, so we're going to say account. And what information do I need to pass? The wallet. Okay, so we're going to say user or wallet. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now, and by the way, this is an await function because we're expecting a response. Now, this should give us the user CID. Now I can use this to pull the first name, last name, email, and username, okay? Now, here's the thing. What I'm going to do now, check this out. I am going to return this value, okay? So I can see what information do we get, okay? I am going to return this. Check this out. I want to explain to you this very clearly. I have to make a function. Let me just do a function to confirm that this is working. Async function test. And we are just going to say, we should be exporting that. Okay, so I need to import this get account into index. So I'm going to do that right now. Import, by the way, I don't need to do a new import. I can just add this here. So we are just going to call this get account. Cool, awesome. And by the way, I could even type it and it will just auto import it, okay? Now what I have to do is the following. Constant output, let's call this output, and I'm going to say await get account. So when this gets processed, I should obtain the return, that user URI that I specified to return right here. So this is the value that I should be obtaining, okay? And I'm going to just display this in the console. Output. So now I know exactly what the information is going to be. So then I can determine if we're doing it the right way. So we're going to do test. Now I have to attach this to a button. So what I'm going to do, let's place a button below profile info, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a button right here on click, and we're going to call this test. I'm going to say test. This is just to validate, okay? We save that, let's go back, and we got the button here, so let me press F12 first, and let's see. Beautiful, we're getting information. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got the first value 000, the second value 000, account CID, user number. Interesting, I don't see any data. And this wallet has a data. Let's see what's up here. I am going to make an account real quick, and let's call this Robert Smith, R Smith at a3b.io. Okay, we're going to be updating the profile. Ooh, connected. Oh, I see why. I see. Okay, so under connected, I need to specify the address, else it's not going to work. Okay, so what I have to do constant, because we're not passing the pay wallet. I haven't finished this function, but remember under eat connect we added more details. Okay, so if we go to eat connect right here, we're not just passing the address, we're passing other things. So I have to specify that to ethers. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to constant, and we can say just user address for now, and then we'll say connected dot what, dot address. Okay, and then I'm just going to pass this here, user address. Cool, awesome. Alrighty, now let's give it a shot again. Refresh right here. Okay, and we are going to call this again, Robert. Let's see, Robert Smith and R Smith, and then we'll say R Smith at a3b.io. And we're going to update, and looking good. Okay, awesome. Now we obtained this. Okay, now I'm wondering if it's on the smart contract. So what I can do to validate that this is the account CID, I am going to copy the address, and then I'm going to validate this in the smart contract. We should be obtaining this back. So I'm going to call, and sure enough, is this the value? It is, because you can see he pay wallet, user ID, account CID. Okay, we're good. We're golden. Now we should get definitely information in the test. So I'm going to say test. Beautiful. This is what we should see. Okay, awesome. Now I need to determine the following. We are golden. Now we know that we definitely have this account stored in the blockchain. If we go down here, now we have this, which if we just grab this and send this to IPFS, we should obtain the user data. Okay, this is cool. Now what I have to do is I have to determine the following, because we need to make sure that we are doing the right calls. Okay, so with that said, I am going to continue doing this. I don't need the test anymore because we know that we're getting the data. This is why you need to test, because else you're gonna go crazy trying to figure out why it's not working. You test, you do a little bit of functions, test and make sure that they're calling so that you can continue on, okay? It is a cool tip, okay? So what I do now under Web3 Connect, now that I know that I'm returning the proper user CID data back, okay? Now I'm just going to remove this because I still need to make some calls, okay? So now I got the user CID. Now I need to determine if there is an account. If there is no account, I'm just going to say first-time user, and I'm just going to populate the fields with first name, enter first name, enter last name, enter email. Like we know it's a brand new account. You see where I'm going? Awesome. So what I'm going to do here, I have to do an if. I'm going to say if, and we're going to say user CID, and remember what was the information in the console log that we saw? We saw an array with different values, right? I need to determine if there's a wallet associated to the struct. How can I do that? I just need to obtain the second value because it was the user wallet. And if we go to the smart contract, I'm going to show you right here. Let me go to the smart contract, and you can see here the key number 1 in the array, this is key 0. If I want to store this in a variable, I need to call the variable that I did and then put the under brackets and then type 0, and this is the position 0. This is how I obtain this value. But then I want to make sure that there is a wallet associated. If there's no wallet associated to it, then I want to show a default information in the page, like, hey, first-time user, please build your account. Okay, cool. So let's do that. I need to find this value and compare it and see if there's no wallet, then do this, okay? If there is a wallet, then do the other thing, okay? Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, so if user CID, now from here, I should say number 1. This is the second value inside the user information or the struct in the smart contract. If this value, this is the user wallet, equals what? I'm going to paste this entire line right here. If, remember when nothing was stored for that user or for that wallet, everything was like the wallet, it was all zeros. I want to determine if that's the value. Because if that's the value that I have in position 2 and key 2 in this particular user data on the smart contract, that means that the user hasn't built his account. There's no account in the smart contract. So I can tell the user, hey, this is the first time. Please build your account. Okay, so we're going to do that. I am going to return. So then I can determine that. And then I can do some action. Okay, I'm going to return no user found. Or I can say just no user. Okay. So then if I obtain that value back, I can then determine what I need to do, okay? Else, you return me this, else, continue. We are going to say, else, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do build me the URI, the entire IPFS path, so that I can display the user information. And then build me the picture URI. But then I have to parse this, okay? Hold on here. I am going to say constant user IPFS path, okay? This is the IPFS path, and we are going to point now to the IPFS URL, okay? So we're gonna say HTTP, and then we're gonna type ourselves that node, that IPFS node that we built in the beginning, okay? We're gonna say 8080, okay? And now we're going to say IPFS. Remember, this is how we look for that information in the browser, okay? But now, what do I need to provide along with this path? The actual CID, okay? So we are going to do that. Now I'm going to provide what? User CID. And what is the CID value? It's position 0. So let's go to the smart contract. Position 0. Beautiful. So we're just going to type it here. And this is effectively the entire URL. So then I can pull the information out. Beautiful. Okay. Now I am going to obtain the picture CID as well. I need the picture so I can display the picture for that user. So we're going to do constant, and we're going to say picture CID. Okay. And we're going to say, I'm just going to type it lowercase, and I'm going to say the same call, but in this case, instead of me calling the account public mapping, I am going to be calling the picture. If we go back to the smart contract, picture, here we go. This is what it's going to give us, the picture CID. Okay, so this will be called here. So we're doing that. Okay, awesome. So we got the picture CID right here. Awesome. Now I have to build that picture that picture URL, so then I can also know where that location is. So then Next.js can provide me the render, and we can display this out. Okay, so we're going to say constant picture URL. Okay, and we are going to do this exact same thing, but the difference is we're not going to be calling the user CID, but instead the picture, which we just built right here. CID, okay? And what picture we need to? Remember, it's a single value, so I'm not expecting an array. I'm just expecting a single value, okay? This is very different. Got it? Okay. So now we got the user data, or we can label this to be not IPFS path, but instead user URL, okay? So this is it's going to give me all the user data. This is going to give me the user's picture. Now, I am going to be returning what? I am going to be returning all this data, so then we can show this in HTML. So we're going to return, check this out, user URL and picture URL. Now I have those values, and I can do or determine what I need to do. But then I have to treat this as well. If there's no account created, I want to show something default, and we can do that, okay? So we have done this for now. Let's go back to index. Now what I have to do, I have to go and build a function called getUser, okay? Let's do that. So I'm going to do async function getUser, okay? Now inside here, we need to obtain that information, okay? What I have to do, I want to obtain a lot of data, as a matter of fact. I want to obtain the user wallet. I want to obtain a lot of information. I want to get the user ID. So that means that I have to sign in the user. As a matter of fact, I want to get the NFT ID. You know what? I can actually repurpose this. That I think is going to work great. Okay, yeah, I think it's going to be all good. Okay, so if I call getUser, I will be calling sign-in user, which is going to give me the NFT ID. Remember, we want to show that in the front end. We can show that NFT ID, okay? So with that, I can find the NFT ID, and I can send this out, and we will display the user's NFT ID in the front end. And I am also going to display that user MetaMask wallet address in the front end as well. So let's continue. Now, with that, I want to get the account. Let's get the user URI. So we are going to say constant the user CID. So constant user data, right? And we're going to await and call what? Get account. That's the function that we built. Get account, okay? Beautiful. Now, with the user data, what do I have to do? I need to get the user URL, okay? Check this out. Constant user URL. This is the user data itself, or the IPFS path. Now I'm going to obtain user URL from user data. So I'm going to say user data dot user URL. Here we go. Beautiful. Now I need to determine the following. Pay attention. User URL. If this value returns undefined, that means that the function didn't find any user account. It actually defaulted here. It went to no user. That means that this value that is supposed to be returning, it was not returned because it returned no user. So what I can do, that will tell me that there is no user account in the smart contract. So then I'm going to use that to determine if I need to show first-time user. Please connect the wallet, please, or please create your account, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the following. If, okay, check this out. If user URL, okay, equals undefined, okay, meaning that there's no data on it, that means that there was no account. And then I want you to populate the following. I'm going to say let first, this is the first name, in the field in the HTML code, first. And we are going to place data into that field. Enter first name. Okay, you see what I'm going? Which means that the user hasn't built an account. Last name and email address. So we're just going to paste all this. Last, enter last name. Now enter a username. Okay, and finally enter email. That means that the user hasn't built his account, hasn't signed up on the portal. So enter email address. Okay, now I need to pass this to HTML. How do we do that? With the DOM, the same way that we were using to pass data into HTML, we will do the same approach. We are going to say document get element by ID. What's the ID of the first? First, this is the mapping to the HTML. You're already familiar because we did that with create profile. We're obtaining this from first, okay? I'm gonna put this here first. And then I am going to say the value of that is going to be what? First. So that means that I'm going to be placing this first name, enter first name, in that first value. You already know what I need to do with the other ones, okay? Copy, paste, paste, paste. And now we're going to say last, because that's the ID inside the HTML object in the input field. Last, okay? Then we're going to say user. This maps to user. And then we're going to say email. And we're going to say email. We're looking good. Awesome. Then I want to show in the portal that this is the first time user. Okay, so what I can do another let. I can say new message or new user. Okay, we're going to say welcome first timer. Okay, cool. Now I need to pass this as well. So I'm going to say document get element by ID, but then let's place this where? Let's place this particular value below the profile info. So below profile info, I have an ID already assigned with a header. I think it's header 5, and it basically has an ID. So we will display hello first timer if we don't find the user account, okay? So let me show you that. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to find that value. So let me go to profile info. Here we go. And there you go. Display update change. That's the ID that I need to reference that message. So we're gonna copy this, okay? And I am going to paste it right here. Awesome, cool. Display update change. And we are going to call this inner HTML, and then we're going to say new user, which we basically are passing this value, and then we will display this in the front end, okay? This is in the case that I don't have an account, that I haven't built an account. In the case that I do have an account, I want to show the user data, okay? So let's do that. Else what? Now I want to show constant. Now I have to remember, this data, it's not going to be returned to us clean, and we can just display this on the screen. No, this data will be returned, but we need to make an API call. We need to do a get call. And in order for us to do a proper get call and parse this information out, we are going to be using Axios. It's very simple. All I have to do is import Axios here, which we will do. Import Axios from Axios, and we will do Axios a get call. Okay, so let's go here. Constant. Let's call this constant. What I have to do now, I am going to call this header because I need to send this to Axios. I need to send an option header, so then it allows IPFS to provide me the information. It's a header that I need to specify. Inside the header, I am going to say, this is the API call header. I'm going to say content type. It's going to be application JSON. So the value that IPFS is going to give us, it's JSON formatted, okay? Application JSON, okay? Cool. So now I can use this header. Oh, by the way, I don't need this, okay? So now I can use that header to make my call, and then it should work. So now I am going to effectively get the information that I need. I'm going to build a constant user info, and now I'm going to call Axios. I'm going to await Axios, and then I am going to do a get from Axios. Where do I need to go to? The user URL. Remember, this is where we obtain the user CID. Okay, this is where we got that CID from IPFS with the entire HTTP path. We go back. I'm going to show you right now. The user URL, I am going to obtain this entire HTTP path exactly. And all we're going to do is, like, we just copy and paste into the browser and press enter and got that JSON back. But then we can then take out the data that we need. Okay, so I need to get user data, user URL. Okay, now I'm going to pass this out. I'm going to say user URL, but then I have to pass the header, else the API call is not going to work. Okay, so we pass that header. Beautiful. Now we got user info. Now I can use this to pull data out of there and display that. This is where we are actually getting the data from IPFS. Let's do it. Let's go ahead. And we are going to, by the way, I forgot, I got to do a return. So I have to stop here. Okay, so I'm just going to do a return here to stop it. But then let's go ahead. And now let's get the information out. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to obtain the first name. Constant, I am going to say now let first. Okay, same way. We are going to say user info because that's the constant that we build. The data should be stored there, and you can say here now. Now Axios should have returned to us data. And inside data, what am I expecting? Get first. That is the name of the information in IPFS for the username. Okay, remember that we did that when we did here. Get first. This is how we are going to return. That is the value for the first name. Okay. And we have to, guess what? Do the same thing for the other stuff. Okay. So it's 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now we're going to do last. We're going to do last. Now we're going to say get last. Then we're going to say user, get user. You can see it down below there. Okay. And finally, we have to do email. Let email. Okay. And we're going to say get email. Beautiful. Now we have all the information that we need. And this should give us the data from the user. This is going to do the final call. Okay. Now, what else do I have to provide to that user? I have to provide the picture. We already got the username, last name, email, and username. We now have to provide the picture. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to say now constant picture URL, because we are going to obtain the URL. Remember, we exported that. And we have to say user URL. Now we have to do the same call, but for picture. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to just place it right below here. I'm going to say picture URL. Okay. And then we're going to say user data, and then we're going to type pic URL. And then instead here is picture. we're going to say constant picture. Actually, I don't need to do access here. All I have to do is the picture URL, which is going to give me the full picture path, right? If I do, access was needed because we have multiple data, and the output of that information was a JSON file, which we had to deconstruct to get each individual value. But now in my case, all I have to do, I got the picture URL here. I have to send this as a use state so then I can display the picture in the HTML front end. Now, hear me out. The user might have created the user account, but might not provided the user profile picture. We need to just put a placeholder in case there's no picture. I'm just going to display something default. How can I determine that? I can determine that as follow, okay? I am going to say the following. If, okay, if user, in this case is going to be picture URL, right, equals what? The node, and by the way, this is the API call, but this is the same way as we were hitting the gateway. This is the gateway address, okay? So let's say I obtained this, right, entire path, but I did not get the pictures at the end, or like the picture URI. That means that the user didn't provide the picture because we don't have that value, okay? Then I want you to do the following. If that's the case, I want you to set URL. So what I have to do first, before I do that, I have to obtain the value, whatever the value was, and pass this as a use state, so then I can pass this to HTML, okay? So what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna call this file URL, which is the picture file. And I'm gonna say get file URL, okay? And then we're gonna call this use state. And because this is not text, this is a picture, we're just gonna call this null, okay? Now I can use this to pass the data, and then I can use file URL to send to HTML. So let me go back here, okay, beautiful. So that means that get file URL. Now, what I'm going to do, you know what? I am just going to send a default picture that I'm going to have IPFS icon. And I'm just going to display an IPFS icon. If the user doesn't have a picture, this is what I'm going to show to the user. That's it, okay? So with that said, I am going to just type IPFS PNG because this is stored in the public folder. So I'm just calling that, display that. That means the user doesn't have a picture. Else, okay, else guess what? I can do the actual picture file, the actual IPFS picture. So instead, here I can type picture URL. And this is how we are going to show that picture. Final thing, we have to map this, by the way, I forgot, but we have to map this to the DOM. Okay, so what I can do is copy, because this is exactly the same location, copy, and I'm just going to paste this below. There you go. Okay, now if there was a user account, we are going to see the first name, last name, username, and email address, and we should be seeing the picture as well. Cross fingers, but we have one thing to go, and it's associating the file URL in HTML so that I can see the picture. So we're just going to copy this value, and let me go down here. And this is where we are going to reference the image. The image is going to be here. We are going to type source, right? And guess what the source is going to be? File URL. That's it. This is going to show the IPFS picture. So we're going to go ahead and Control S. Let me make sure that I did this here as well. And one last thing I think, it's that when the user connects their wallet, I got to make sure that I can get this information right away, right? Because right now, if I'm mistaken, there's no association to get user. So we have to build a use state so then when the user refreshes the site, it shows this information, okay? Okay, so that means that because we've removed get NFT IDs, remember we used this name, I can call get user instead. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pass this here, inside here, okay? The moment the wallet is connected, then I should get the user call, and it's just gonna run over this. And we should see everything in the front end. Cross fingers. Boom. Let's see. Let me refresh. Awesome, awesome, awesome. First name, last name, username, email address, NFT ID, and the picture. Bravo. One last thing, let's give the user the ERC internal wallet, and let's give some bonus ERC-20 tokens. Let's do it. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to start by building a function that will create that custom ERC wallet, okay? Let's do this. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to use the same Web3 Connect file that we were using to build all of the functions in this platform. So now what we need to do, let's start by exporting. Again, we're gonna build this async function right here that will export the wallet. So let me go ahead and start by building an export function, export async function, and we are going to call this add account. We're gonna be adding this new account. So let's call this add account, okay? I need to provide, so here's the thing. We need to make sure that there is no account associated to that user, okay? Which means that there's no wallet, there is no profile, there's nothing. This is a brand new account, which means that I need to determine if there's no account, then proceed to build the custom ERC wallet, okay? Or generate that custom ERC wallet. So with that said, I have to pass, what do I need to pass? The URI that was generated when we imported the data to IPFS. Because remember, let me go back. Let me see how can I show you this in a way that you are going to understand. You know that when we write to IPFS, all the user data, when the user builds his account or her account, we will obtain the CID. And that's what we see in the console. Once we do the test and we update profile, we will see the CID. And we're passing this information. So what I need to determine now is that if there's a CID, right? Then go ahead and proceed to build the account. If there is no data, meaning that I don't see any information whatsoever for that particular wallet that connected onto the platform, that means that the user hasn't built an account in the smart contract. There's no information stored in the smart contract, and then we will proceed to generate the new wallet, generate everything, okay? So here's how can we do the ERC wallet. Okay, we need to determine two things. Number one, that there is not already an account generated or a wallet generated for that user. Okay, so that is number one, because we are going to use the same function that we were using to generate that account and send the data to IPFS, store the CID in the smart contract. We need to make sure that we are not going to generate a new wallet every time that user decides to update the profile. No, the only time when we are going to generate a wallet, or we are going to build a new wallet and assign that wallet to a user, is when the user first builds the account or registers the account. So when the user builds its user profile for the first time, that is when we are going to build that ERC wallet. Else, we have to make sure that we're not just going to keep building new wallets. Okay, it's only one time. All right, let's do this. So what I have to do, I am going to build an account, and we will use the Web3 Connect.js file. I am going to build a function that we will export, and then we will append that function here into create profile. So then we can send the data to that function and generate that ERC wallet and associate that wallet to the account, okay? So here's what we need to do. I am going to be passing, right? I am going to be passing the CID. And you might say, well, why I need to pass the CID? Isn't the account generated when the user first registered the profile? Yes, that's correct. But we are also going to be using the same function, okay, to update the profile. And as a matter of fact, I should just call this update profile because I can either create the profile or update it, right? So we can just relabel this function to be called update profile instead of create. So matter of fact, I'm going to do it because it will be used for both functions. It's going to be used to create the profile, brand new user, or if the user already has a profile and wants to modify the first name, last name, any of those attributes, we can use the same function. We just need to determine, hey, you already have the account, just modify what you need to modify, but I'm not going to generate a brand new wallet every time that you update your account. Absolutely not, okay? So let me relabel this to be update profile. It's going to make more sense because this is the function that will either create a new profile or update the profile. So that's fine, okay? Awesome, and now I have to append this to the button. So I'm going to find that button that says update profile. Where are you? Okay, here we go. Now it's going to be update profile. Okay, cool. Now we're good here. Okay. Now I need to determine that if the user doesn't have an account, then generate that ERC wallet. Okay, so let's go into a Web3 Connect and we are going to export async. Let's build that async function. This function is going to be called add account. Okay, and let's say that user generated a brand new account. We are going to pass the value, the CID that we were passing, right? Or the CID that we generated with IPFS here. And that's fine because if there's no need to update the CID, I'm just going to discard the data. If there is a need to generate a new wallet, then we will use the value. So it doesn't matter, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. We are absolutely doing the first thing. We need to call this it connect so that we can get the user wallet and then we can perform the calls and so forth. So we're going to be using that. I also need to use the user smart contract because I need to determine, right? I need to call the user smart contract, the user profile smart contract to determine if there's an account already made there. And also I need to use this. So if I generate a new ERC wallet, I am going to be passing the wallet address to the contract so then I can use that value. So then when I am going to drop those ERC custom tokens, I can do so. Okay, so I am going to make calls here. All right, so this is how we exported that contract. Awesome. Now what we're going to say is we're going to say constant and we want to obtain the address, right? Because we need to query using the address of the wallet. In this case, we are already obtaining that from user data, and then this is the value. We already know because we have been doing this in the other functions, okay? Awesome. Now we got the address. Now, there is a function in the smart contract that allows me just to check if there is a user account already created in the smart contract. I can either call the public mapping of account and find if the return is a wallet, else if it's just zeros, that means that there's no account, which means that proceed to do the ERC wallet, generate that new ERC wallet, okay? So what I have to do, I am going to say confirm account. Okay, we're just going to confirm that there's an account. If you go to the smart contract and you go down here, I'm going to show you right now. I am going to call this function, which is at the end. What it literally is going to give me is the wallet address. Okay, if there is a wallet already stored, I want to know what the wallet is. Okay, so I can do this either with the public mapping of account, or I am just going to call this one. It doesn't matter. Okay, so in return, I should get the user wallet that is associated to that particular profile. Okay, good so far. Awesome. Now we got confirm account. Now we are going to await that answer. I am going to be calling what? The user contract. Remember, we just called that in the top. Now I am going to say what? I am going to call the function confirm user, and then we are going to expect the answer. And the answer should be the wallet address if there is an account already created in the platform. Okay, cool. Now here's the magic. Remember how I was able to identify if there is an account? This is another way to do it. If I have an account, perfect. If I don't, then I don't, okay? So what I can do here, I can actually tell basically the same if, right? So we are going to assume, right? I'm just going to copy this right here. We are going to assume if there is no account, that means that the confirmed account matches this value, which is the return. If there is no account created for that user, I should obtain this value in return because there's no wallet associated, okay? Then that tells me that that's a brand new user. The user has never built an account, okay? Here's where we are going to generate and assign the ERC wallet. We are generating a brand new wallet, okay? Let's start with constant, okay? And we're going to say wallet ID. I'm just going to label this to be wallet ID, and check this out. We're going to call the function from Ethers. Ethers has a function called wallet, okay? And then dot, and we are going to call create random. That is the function that will generate that wallet, okay? We are going to open, close here, and boom, awesome. Now, if I call this, okay, as a matter of fact, you want to see this? I am going to do it right now. Let me do the following. I'm just going to copy this async function. We'll do it as we have done to test that it's working. I am going to just put it here, and we're just going to make a quick call, right? We're just going to make a button so you can see how this works, okay? And with that said, I just want to test. So in this case, I want to show you how the account is done. So here we go. So we got the, let's just call this test because this is just a test, okay? And we are going to say wallet ID, okay? And now if I console log wallet ID, we should get the address of the wallet and the private key of the new wallet. This is how we create ERC wallets, okay? So what I'm going to do, I am going to append this to a button, and then we can test it out. So let me, okay, below profile info, you're just going to generate that button on click, and we are going to say test. That's the name of the temporary function, test. I'm going to Control S, and let's go back. Okay, so we got the test button. So once I press this test button, we should generate a wallet. Ethers is not defined. Yeah, if you don't define the module, it's not going to work. Let's do it. Because I just imported it here in the index, and I don't actually have ethers here. But we'll fix that right away, okay? There you go. Okay, now what we need to do, refresh, give it a shot. Okay, we have generated the wallet. Where is the private key? The private key we haven't gotten yet. So there is a way to obtain the private key because this is just a promise returned. But now we know that this is the wallet address. Remember, if I press again, I'm generating a brand new wallet. I'm generating a completely different wallet. So you can see it. I'm going to do it right now. New wallet. Okay, we have generated a completely different wallet. So what I need to do now, check this out, because we're wasting wallets. Every time that I press, it actually generates a wallet. So what I got to do, I am going to get the information from that wallet. So in the test function that I just built, now I can do the following. Give me constant wallet address, and we're going to say wallet ID dot, and we got the address right here, okay? We're going to say address, and we're going to type 2 strings, so then we just see that in clear text, okay? And we are now going to obtain also the private key that is associated to that wallet. We're going to say wallet key, and then we're going to say here private key. There we go, private key to string. Now we should obtain both values. So what I'm going to do, I am going to say the first console log, and let's make it pretty. It's going to be wallet address, right? The wallet address is going to be, here we go. Perfect. And now I'm just going to spacebar plus wallet address. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do the same thing with the private key. So we can get not only the wallet, but also the private key. So we're just going to console log now. Below here, we're going to type private key. Okay, and we're going to say wallet key, because that's the second call. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's go back and let's give it a shot. There we go. Awesome. We got the wallet address, and this is the private key for this wallet. Okay, so we generated a brand new wallet, and we generated a private key for that wallet. Cool. All right, so now you know how to do wallets, how to build your own wallet. Okay, I can do this, by the way. Check this out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this private key, copy the message. Let me go to MetaMask and import it and use it. An ERC wallet, it's an ERC wallet regardless of where you are going to use it. Import account and private key. Paste that private key that we just got here. Okay, import. Guess what? Here's the wallet. Same, 39A9. There you go. You can use it. Alrighty, cool. Now you know. Awesome. So we have generated a wallet. Don't worry. This is just going to be, lost, right? Because we're not going to be using that. Okay, cool. Let me now go back under here, because if I connect that wallet has no NFTs and it's going to kick me out. Okay. So with that said, I got to do the following. Okay, now we know. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to grab all three things here. I no longer need the test function. And also I don't need ethers here. So let's make sure that this is clean. And let me take out the button that we created temporarily. Awesome. Okay, let's go back to Web3 Connect and continue to show here. Okay, now I'm just going to paste what I did. Now I obtained the wallet ID, and now from here, I obtained both values. Okay, here's the fun part. Remember, when we build a brand new wallet for that user, we need to store the private key somewhere, but we cannot send this to IPFS because the private key is going to be completely clear, and we don't want that, okay? I need to work with Mongo database. We are going to be using MongoDB to store the private key, but this private key is going to be for us, the platform developers, so we can manage that wallet and we can transfer funds and do everything. We are in control. That's why there's a saying, if the crypto is in an exchange, it's not your keys. Like, it's not your keys, not your crypto. The reason why is because you're not in control of the private key. You cannot control that key. So they technically own your money. Like, even though that you're depositing that money in an exchange or that crypto in an exchange, they are holding the private keys, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? So with that said, what I have to do, I have to work with MongoDB because we need to store that private key the moment it gets generated. We have to safely store that only us can access it, okay? So what better way to store this than into a private database, okay? So let's use MongoDB. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to generate a new file. And we're gonna call this Mongo, okay? I am not gonna go too much in details on how to set up Mongo. I'm gonna go very quick because it's just gonna continue forever, this tutorial. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to leave here the link to learn MongoDB. Now, in order for me to work with Mongo, I am going to be making calls, API calls using Axios. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import Axios, okay, from Axios, okay. Okay, now let's make a function that will allow me to store the private key. But here's the catch. We need to send to Mongo database not only the private key, but we also have to send the user wallet as well as the internal wallet. So we need to send two wallet addresses. The wallet that we generated along with the private key of that wallet, which we will obtain on the call. And we need to also send the user a wallet. Why? Because when the user connects, I know which wallet belongs to which user. That's how I'm able to provide the custom ERC tokens, because we will be generating tokens for each user that builds an account in the platform, which means that I need to know those values, okay? So we need to have three references: the user MetaMask wallet, the new wallet address, and the private key to that new wallet address, okay? Cool. So with that said, the first function I'm going to be creating and exporting so I can use it in Web3 Connect. And again, we're just creating and exporting functions. This function is going to be called store wallet because the moment I generate that wallet, I am going to be storing the details in Mongo database. But I need to send the following attributes. So I am going to be calling this function from the Web3 Connect, right? And then sending this to Mongo database. So the first thing is going to be the user wallet. I'm going to be sending that user wallet. As a matter of fact, I already got the IDs. Okay, we're going to be sending address string. Address string is the MetaMask wallet address. Okay, so let's just use that same name so you're not confused. Okay, address string, that's the first ID that I need to send to Mongo. The second ID that I need to send to Mongo database is going to be a wallet address and a wallet key. So we're going to send that to Mongo. And finally, the wallet key. Okay, cool. Now we are sending, because we're storing those three values, okay? Now here's the fun part. The way that MongoDB works, it's you send this using an Axios post call, okay? What are we going to send? Well, here's the thing. We need to tell what the URL for Mongo database is. What's the API that I need to talk to? When you generate a Mongo database, again, I'm going to go very quick. When you generate a MongoDB Atlas database, and you can go online and build it yourself, you can just create the account and then you can create your database, okay? When I build a database, I can build collections, and inside those collections, I can store wallets. And you can see here, I already have one database built. And I have a database called N2D-database, and I have a collection called profiles. Inside the collection profiles, what do you see? You see the user wallet along with the pay wallet. This is the wallet that we will generate for that user, and the private key. So now I have those values, and I can use those values to make additional calls or what I need to do, okay? So what I'm going to do, because I was testing this, I'm just going to delete the records so we can start over, okay? Awesome. So now if I go back into my Mongo file, I need to do the following. I have to tell the information for MongoDB. It is going to be expecting, I'm going to be copying here, and I'm going to be masking this because this is my API key for Mongo. Okay, so I need to provide that Mongo API key so then I can make a proper call and write to the database. Okay, I'm going to send the Mongo database key. I got to provide my Mongo URL. This is the API URL that I'm going to use to send my calls to Mongo database. There is a section here that you are not going to see because I am masking this information out, but this is the custom ID for your Mongo API path. You are not going to see this because I am masking it. This is my personal one, but you will have this here, okay? Now, with that said, I am going to pass also the header. So then the proper API call gets forwarded and gets, processed. So the header is basically telling, hey, the contents of that call, it's going to basically be a JSON format. And then I'm going to pass my Mongo database key. So that then Mongo allows me to store that. Okay. All right. If you want to know how to build this whole thing, again, the video MongoDB, very short video. It's going to be very straight to the point, and you'll master MongoDB in no time. Okay, cool. Now that we have this, now we can go ahead and build the entire function. First thing, I got to pass into the post. I got to pass the Mongo URL, obviously. Without the Mongo URL, we're not going to be able to reach Mongo database, right? So we're passing that, which we created up here. Now we're going to say plus what? I am going to be calling or reaching a particular section in the API or a particular action. The action of adding a brand new value or a brand new database entry, it's called insert one. Okay, insert one. Okay, so this is how I'm going to say. I'm going to say Mongo URL. I'm going to call that API, and you can see here action. Then what's the action? Insert one. Okay, that's how I'm going to specify that this is a brand new record that I need to write. Okay, now I got to do the following. I'm going to press comma right here. Right? And now I have to send every detail in the API call. Okay, so for Mongo, what is the first detail that I got to tell Mongo so Mongo knows where it needs to store it? I got to label the collection in MongoDB. That is the profile. Okay, so if I'm going to go back, I'm going to show you now profiles. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to show you why. Collection profiles. So I'm telling Mongo, hey, under collection profiles, we go back here. You can see it here, collection profiles. This is the collection ID. Okay, now I got to specify the database. And finally, I got to specify the cluster. If we go back here, you can see it over here. If you scroll up, you can see cluster 0. That's the name of the cluster. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm going to say collection profiles. Now I'm going to type database. That's the next item. And the database is going to be what? Into the database. Okay, that was the database name. And it's under what? Data source. And what's the data source? That is the cluster ID. Cluster 0. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now when I do this, I am going to finally pass the data that I need to store. So I'm going to type document. This is how we send the data. Document, and then I'm going to open, and inside the document, I need to specify the properties. Wallet, and I am going to provide the address string. So this is how we're going to be storing and referencing that user wallet. Store that along with the pay wallet, okay? Now we're going to say pay wallet, and now this is the new wallet that we have generated for this account. And this is the normal, the MetaMask wallet, okay? Now this is the new wallet address, okay? And now I have to store the private key of that wallet because that's how we're going to be interacting with wallet key, okay? And let's label this private. And we know that private belongs to wallet key. This is the private key, okay? Awesome. And now I got to tell that header, right? Remember, we have to tell the header, which is going to be, let me do a comma, and now we're going to pass the header below here, okay? Now the header is going to be Mongo header, which is right here. We're just making it there. Cool? And we just need to do a call, a catch in case there's an error. I can catch whatever it was, okay? So I'm just going to go and do it real quick here. It's going to be very quick. I am going to do Mongo header. There we go. Awesome. So we have effectively built that function to store the new user wallet. Cool. Now I did this. Perfect. Now I need to allow the user to migrate the account. Remember, the last function that we will be building in this tutorial is to allow the user, let me show you, to allow the user to migrate the account. Let's say the user wants to change from this wallet. So, the user has always used this wallet, and it turns out he wants to change it. For some reason, he wants to move all this information to a new wallet. We will provide the capabilities to do so. But then I have to also build in the function an action that will also transfer that internal wallet to this new account, okay, to this new personal wallet. So we need to build another function in Mongo, but this function is going to be to update the existing information in Mongo database. So I'm just going to copy this. Remember, I love copy and pasting. And then we're going to say update wallet, okay? If the user decides to move the account to something else, all I have to pass is what? I have to pass the old wallet that the user is going to migrate from to the new wallet, okay? And now, instead of insert means that it's a brand new entry, I am going to be updating one. So we're going to type update one, but then now I have to tell Mongo I need to find this particular wallet. So I'm going to say filter, check this out, filter, what am I going to find? From the wallet, remember this is what we originally stored, right? So from this wallet, I want you to get me that old wallet value, which we need to pass. We need to tell, hey, from this wallet, I want you now to update to this wallet. So we're going to type, instead of document, we're going to say update, right? And I am going to specify, by the way, there's a comma here. Awesome. And I am going to specify, basically replace the value with what? From the old wallet to what? To the new wallet. There you go. And yes, that's how we will be able to allow the user to migrate an account from one wallet to another, and we will allow them to pass the internal wallet as well. So all the funds, everything gets moved over to a new account, okay? We cannot just let users create profiles and then not allow the user to migrate whatever they had in the old profile to the new one. We are giving this opportunity as well, okay? Cool. And at the end, we want to provide the users the visibility of the tokens, right? But for that, I need to obtain the value of the wallet. So then I can do whatever I want to do. If I want to withdraw the funds, if I want to show the balance of that wallet, I can do so, okay? So we're gonna say async export, async function, okay? And this function is going to say get pay info, because we need to tell the user how many tokens do they have in the internal wallet, okay? So we're gonna say new wallet, okay? And we need to be a little bit more creative on this one, because I am expecting information from Mongo database, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I am going to build a constant get info, okay? And this get info is going to be awaiting what? The Axios call, okay? Let me just take advantage. As a matter of fact, it's going to be this. I'm just gonna copy this whole thing because I just need to copy and paste some things out of it, okay? So, okay, get info, await Axios post, but then now all I have to do is find one, okay? That's the action. And we are going to find all the information for a particular wallet. All I need to find is give me whatever you have a reference that matches this wallet address, okay? And I am going to say that this is the wallet address, okay? Or I can say address string. Okay, so I need to pass this to the function. And this is in the case that we need to show the balance in the front end. This is how I'm going to do it, because I need to obtain the wallet address, so then I can make calls to the blockchain, get to the ERC-20 smart contract, and then get the balance for that wallet account. And also, I am going to be obtaining also the private key in case I need to withdraw funds, or the user wants to withdraw funds. We will make the function so the user only has to press that button and the funds will be withdrawn. But I need to have the private key so then I can make the call in the back, okay? And this is how we're gonna do it. We're going to retrieve that key from Mongo and use that to send the data out, okay? Cool. And finally, what do we need to return so that we can get the information that we need back? We need to return get info. Remember, this is what we obtain, data. Then we'll say document, that is the location. And what do I need to obtain? Private. With the private key, I am going to obtain the capability of withdrawing funds, of moving funds, of showing the funds, everything. Okay, cool. All right, so that's done. Now let's do the following. Let's go back to Web3 Connect. Okay, now that I built that Mongo database call, okay, I can now proceed to store that new wallet. So I'm just going to use the store wallet function that we exported in and then import it here, right? So we are going to type, and you can see that by me just typing the function name, I can actually import that automatically. So I'm going to say store wallet. You can see it right here. If I click it and if I scroll up, there you go. It actually auto imported that. So that's awesome. Okay. Now we're going to store this in Mongo. We have generated that new wallet. Now we're going to send that and store it in Mongo database. Okay. So we're going to store the wallet, right? And we're going to say address string, remember that's the first item. This is the MetaMask wallet address. And now we need to pass the wallet address. This is the new wallet that we have generated along with the wallet key, okay? If we go back into store wallet, we are going to send that data to store wallet. So if we go back to Mongo, you can see it right here. This is what we're sending, and then we will store that in the Mongo database, okay? So now we go back into Web Connect, and I got to do the following. Now, because this is a brand new wallet that we have generated, we can safely assume that we need to build that new user account. We need to store that account in the smart contract. So what I'm going to do, I am going to say constant user CID, right? We're going to say user entry, right? And we are going to await from the user contract. Remember, we're going to be running this user contract. From user contract, we are going to create the profile. Again, we're going to call this create profile. And we are going to say what? We're going to pass that new CID. Remember, we imported that new CID from the index page, from the main page. But also, I have to provide the wallet address, and we can show. I'm going to show you back. Remember when we created the profile at the beginning of this video, I had to send the user address, but I did it twice because I was not generating that custom ERC wallet, okay? But now I am. So I don't need to pass it twice. I'm going to pass the normal, the user's browser wallet address and the pay wallet, okay? So what I got to do, and we have to remove this because this is no longer needed because we're going to be leveraging add account to do all of it, okay? So we're going to say new CID. This is the IPFS path to the data. And we will say address string. Okay, this is the user wallet. And this is the wallet that we have generated for that user, wallet address. Okay, so now we are passing both the browser wallet and the new wallet. Okay, cool. Now we need to confirm that the transaction was submitted successfully. So we are going to create a receipt, right? And then that receipt, it's going to say await. I need to await that user entry, okay? And we're just gonna say wait. And that is basically how we can confirm if the account was successfully stored in the blockchain. Now I'm going to say if, right? We need to say if received, meaning that it got stored. Then, guess what do you think we need to do? We need to give those bonus tokens. Absolutely, we got to give those 250 bonus ERC-20 tokens. But for that, we need a smart contract. We need to build an ERC-20 smart contract, or at least we need to deploy that ERC-20 smart contract. I'm going to go very quick on this, okay? Very quick. Now I'm going to go to my repo. Okay, from the ERC-20 liquidity pool, I believe we have the smart contract. Okay, cool. We can use this one. Awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go raw here. I'm going to control A, Control C. Let's go to Remix. Okay, this is the smart contract. And for security, I want to make sure that only we can use this minter role. So the wallet that can mint tokens has to be the updater wallet, okay? So that way we don't allow anyone to mint tokens directly, right? So we're going to say the following. I need to do require. I am going to use this require copy. I am going to place it right below here. I'm going to type require. And then has role, message sender. If it doesn't have the role, right, then say not allowed to mint, not allowed to mint, okay? Which means that the wallet that it's sending this call needs to be allowed to mint, and else you're not going to be allowed to mint, right? Security. So I'm going to Control S. Okay, that compiled successfully. Now I'm going to go back and deploy that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go inject the provider. All right, so we got, this is the updater wallet. Remember, this is the wallet that we set as the updater. So we can use that to mint the tokens. And we are going to deploy this. So when I do that, let me do one thing. I got to make sure that I can auto assign the mentor role so I don't need to reassign that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this because this is how you auto assign the role when the wallet mints or deploys a smart contract. I can then under the constructor call that. And this will basically auto grant that role to the deployer wallet. But in this case, it's going to be the minter role right here. Okay, and this is how I am going to automatically grant the rights to mint tokens to this wallet. Okay, so I'm going to Control S once again. Cool. Now we should be good. I got the role. Pum pum pum. Message sender. Sweet. Okay, now let me deploy the smart contract. And we are deploying an ERC-20 token smart contract. And boom, we got the smart contract. Awesome. Okay, let me copy the smart contract. And remember, we also have to copy the ERC token smart contract API because that's how we are going to mint those tokens. Okay, so let me copy the address first. Let me go back into the web front end. Let me go to config. And we are going to store also the address of the token smart contract. So constant token contract. And then we will store the value inside here. That is the token smart contract address. Cool. Now I have to obtain the ABI for that contract because remember, that's how we make the calls. So we are just going to make sure that we are selecting here ERC-20 token. I'm going to copy the ABI and I should be good to create that file. Okay, so let me go on the components, create a new file. And this is going to be ERC-20 ABI. This is the token that we are going to use to mint. This is basically the ABI. Okay, cool. S, we copied and stored also the ABI. So now we got 3 ABIs that we can work with. Cool. Now I got to do the following. I have to import that ABI so then I can pass that to the function and mint those custom tokens. So we're going to say now token ABI, and we are going to call this from the ERC-20 ABI. There you go. That's how we're referencing. We got this value. Now we can go ahead and build that function. Cool. So because we're going to be using this probably across the board, I am going to do the following. I'm just going to add this function right here because, again, we're calling eatConnect. Every single function calls eatConnect, with the exception of changing the picture. But every single function calls eatConnect so we can get the data from there. I don't need to redo that same line in the other function. So what I'm going to do, copy this, is to make it more efficient. Okay, and we're going to say token contract. So now we got the NFT smart contract, the user smart contract, and the token smart contract. And now I have to also import the token address or the token contract address. There we go. That's the address. And now we're starting that here. Actually, no. As a matter of fact, I cannot put this here because I am going to be making that call using the updater wallet. I cannot be using the signer, but because the signer is the end user cannot auto mint its own tokens. That's a disaster, right? So what I'm going to do instead of importing it here, I don't need to import it here. I have to import this in the config. So I'm just going to leave this like this for now. And I am going to then use it here. This is where we can definitely take advantage of that. So I'm going to say, token address. Let me change this to be token address. And then I can say token contract here. Cool. And now instead here, I got to replace this with token address. Okay. And now I need the token ABI. So let's import that. Import token ABI from, I'll just do this like this, from, and we will say components, and here we go, ERC-20 ABI. Awesome, and now I can pass this here. Token address, token ABI, and updater. That is the wallet that has the rights to perform calls into that token smart contract, in this case to mint, all right? So I'm going to Control S, and we are good here. And we have exported this, which means that I can import that into the other one. So I'm going to go to Web3 Connect. Let's go back into Add Account. Now we need to give that user the bonus tokens, right? So with that, I have to do the following. I have to first specify the amount of tokens that we will grant to the user, which is 250 ERC-20 tokens. So with that said, I am going to say constant amount, right? And we are going to specify the value in string. So it's going to be 250. So we type 250. That's the ether measurement. But now we have to convert this into way because that is the value or the format that the smart contract is going to expect. All I have to do is after 250, that's the value of tokens, add 18 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There you go. Awesome. So we got 250 and 18. That's 18 zeros. That's how we convert this into way. Okay. And finally, what do we need to do now? We got to import that contract. Token. Remember, contract, we built that contract. Now we're going to say dot what? Mint. What are we going to mint? Where do we need to send that token mint? If we go back to the smart contract, this is how the function works. Mint to which address and the amount. What's the address that I need to mint those tokens? Okay, we are going to mint to where? To the new wallet. This is the internal wallet that we generated. Okay, so we're just going to pass it to this wallet. The amount. That's the amount of tokens that I want to mint and send to this address. Okay, awesome. And once you're done, please return a complete. Okay, that means that you finished. Okay, awesome. Now we have generated those 250 custom ERC-20 tokens. Now we can effectively say else, check this out, else, I'm going to type else, in case it doesn't, I want you to tell me also not successful. So in case something happened in the call, I want to know. We need to close this function right here. Okay, so this if there's no account, I want you to go ahead and do everything. Okay, and we are even passing the data for the user smart contract. So we're doing all this. We're generating the wallet. We're passing the IPFS data to the blockchain. We are generating, minting those ERC-20 tokens and sending those tokens to the new wallet that the user got. Okay. Now, else, what I have to do here, I have to close this right here, which is the if. Okay, now we got to type else in case something else. What will be the else? There's already an account, but the user wants to update the account. I don't want to be generating a brand new wallet. Hell no. We already gave the wallet to that user. We already minted those custom ERC-20 tokens. We gave everything. We don't want the user to get a brand new wallet with a brand new set of tokens. Absolutely not. So else, in this case, I'm going to say constant. And I'm going to say user entry. And you might say, why I need to do user entry here? It's already duplicated. So I'm going to say else constant update user, right? So we are going to update user, meaning that the user decided to make some changes into the user profile. So we are going to allow the user to pass the changes. Okay, so we are going to contract, which means that I'm going to just pass the information. I'm going to say profile. So there is a function in the smart contract to update the profile. This means that I can use this function to do multiple things. I can generate a brand new account, generate the wallet, and pass those 250 tokens, mint those tokens, or I can then determine if there is an actual wallet, meaning that this confirmed account returned an actual wallet address. Then that means that the user already has an account and all he wants to do, or all she wants to do, is update his profile. It made a change and he wants to, click update profile. We already have to determine that the user already has an account. Okay. Which means that I am going to store what? The new CID, because now IPFS has effectively generated that data, okay? So we passed this using IPFS. IPFS generated a brand new CID, and then we just passed that CID over here, okay? And that's how we update the profile. And we obviously have to reference that to the user wallet, okay? Because we need to tell the smart contract, hey, I want you to update this CID for this user account stored in the contract, okay? And obviously, we have to make sure that we got confirmation that that transaction got successful, which means that we will await the update user. Wait. So that will tell me that the call was done. If you have a receipt, okay? If you have a receipt, I want you to return complete. Else, well, guess what? You got to tell me so. Return not successful. You got it? And there we go. This is the beauty command that allows me to generate custom ERC-20 wallets, mint 250 tokens, and give those tokens as bonus to the users, okay? Now we have this ready to go. And we are almost done, okay? Now I have to modify that user profile, update profile, so then it generates those calls accordingly, okay? So check this out. We're almost done here. We are going to remove create profile because now we are sending this to the other call that already has all this function. I am just going to leverage every single call here. So we don't have to do multiple calls. So I'm just going to delete all this because we are already doing this in the add account. Okay, so we are going to effectively remove this. We still need the CID because we need to obviously send the data first to IPFS. But now guess what? I am going to await add account. This is the new function that we built, okay? And we need to pass that CID. And we can call this a new CID so you're not confused. And we're going to say add account. And we are going to say new CID, okay? And that should be it, okay? So once we do account new CID, then I should display profile updated to the user and get confirmation. But this call right here did a lot of things, okay? It did a lot of things. If this was a brand new account, I am going to show you, I am going to let you update that account and generate a wallet for you and give you 250 custom ERC-20 tokens, okay? So let me go ahead and Control S, right? Let me go back and let's do the following. Because I already used this account in the smart contract, I got to make sure that we're not gonna have problems if we try to generate the wallet, but there's already an account, because remember, the function will not generate a wallet if there's already an account. So I have to do the following. I have to delete the account, okay? And we will build this whole thing from the ground up. So I'm going to find my smart contract address. There you go, the database smart contract. And we will go back and I am going to compile the smart contract again. Cool. And now we are going to import that smart contract here. And now I can do the following. I can delete the profile. Okay. So when I click delete profile, it actually calls using my local wallet, which in this case is going to reference the wallet that I have. Because this profile will be used, this profile, delete profile function will be used by the end user. So if the user wants to cancel the account, they can. So we're going to delete the profile. And we will delete the profile, okay? So we have effectively deleted the account from the smart contract. Now I can build a brand new account because I will be a brand new user. Okay, so the account has been deleted. Let me go back. And expected Web3 if receipt and Web3 Connect. Let's fix that. Is this even saved? I think now it's saved. There we go, awesome. You can see already, remember when we build that function to get, it's working. Because we get the first timer, welcome first timer, meaning that I effectively deleted my account. I deleted that account from the smart contract. So guess what's going to happen? Welcome first timer. That means that the smart contract doesn't have any information about my account. That is an amazing thing. That's very good. Okay. Now we are going to do a lot of things here. We are going to make sure that MongoDB works. We are going to make sure that we can generate that custom ERC-20 wallet. And we are going to also make sure that the tokens are deposited onto the wallet. And as a matter of fact, I want to provide the function, so we end everything. We are going to provide the function that will display the amount of tokens for that particular user, okay? The bonus tokens. So let me do the following. I am going to build that function, and let's leverage the get account to do that, okay? When we call, let's use a function that will call get account. So I think the get user function will call get account. Okay, cool, awesome. So let me take the opportunity of this, right, of this function, and add the capability of reading the token smart contract and determining how many tokens is the wallet holding, okay? For that, I need to pass what? I need to pass the custom ERC-20 token wallet and then read the contents of that wallet, okay? I can do the following. I am going to obtain from this same user CID, okay, from get account, when I obtain the value number 1, that gives me the browser-based wallet address. So I can also obtain the pay wallet address from here, and then I can read the token smart contract and determine if the user is holding NFTs, if the user is holding custom ERC-20 tokens, okay? Remember, I should have finished this. I should have completed this function right here, by the way, because I still need to use that token smart contract. So I'm going to create that token smart contract call, but I'm going to use the signer to make the call, so then I can determine how many tokens does the user has in its wallet, okay? But here's how we are going to do this. I am going to call token address, that is the address of the smart contract, and then I'm going to type here token address, right? And we're going to say token ABI, so I have to import that, import token ABI from this ABI. Cool, awesome. And we're going to say token ABI. Cool. And yeah, but now this call is being done using the signer, which in this case is going to be with the user wallet, which is fine, because to check the balance, I don't need to have the updated wallet. It's totally fine. Okay, so we're going to do token contract. I have to export that as well. Token, so then I can use it below. So I'm going to say token contract. Cool. Now with get account, because I am calling this, I should be able to get the token contract here, because I'm exporting it here. We're making that call. So yeah, we should be good. Cool. Awesome. Now we're going to say the following. I'm going to say constant, and we are going to say the following. We have to obtain the value of the pay wallet, okay? Of the pay wallet, which means that I have to make the call after it was identified that there was a user. If I do it before and the user doesn't have a pay wallet, we might face an error. So we have to make sure that first there's an account, so then I can obtain the pay wallet address. So with that said, what I'm going to do, I am going to make those calls right below here, because I already know that there is an account. Okay, so I'm going to say constant, and we are going to say pay wallet. So we are going to obtain the value from the user database smart contract for the pay wallet. So then I can call the token smart contract and determine how many tokens it's the user holding. So I'm going to say user CID, right? And I'm going to say the pay wallet position in the array. Let's go into the smart contract and determine that. So I know that I don't have an account. It's gonna show me 0, but I just need to know what the key is for the pay wallet, okay? So if I go here, we got the pay wallet, and the key is number 2. So this is what I need to find, number 2. So if we go back, user CID number 2. Awesome. So we got the pay wallet, user CID number 2. This will give me the pay wallet address. And now I have to get the balance. Now we're going to do constant balance. Okay. The balance is going to be what? Await. And now I'm going to call that token smart contract. So as a matter of fact, I got to obtain that token smart contract. So I'm going to say token contract, and I'm going to obtain the token contract from etconnect, which is basically user data dot token contract, There we go. We got the token. Now we can use this. Await token CTR contract. And now I can say what? Balance of Pay Wallet. And now we are checking the token smart contract and obtaining the balance of Pay Wallet, which is the entry that was stored in the user database smart contract. Boom. You see, like this continues on and on and on. As much features you want to have into this application, the more coding. But this is what's challenging. This is what it's worth it. This is why we spend nights and evenings and weekends trying to make this happen. It's a lot. It's a lot, but hey, look at this power. How powerful is this application? Okay. I am going to be exporting balance, okay? But here's the thing. I believe the value that will be returned, it's going to be GUI, which is fine. So I am going to get account. I am going to export balance, okay? So I am obtaining the balance once I do the call to the token smart contract. Okay, so I'm going to control S. Now, if I go to index, inside user data, now we have a balance. So I want to say the following. I want to then get whatever value it's out of balance and show that in HTML, so then we can display that for the user. So the user knows how many tokens, how many ERC-20 tokens it's he or she holding in that wallet, in the internal wallet, okay? So what I gotta do now, I gotta do balance, but then remember, I have to make sure that it's because the user has an account. If the user doesn't have an account, then that means the user doesn't have an internal wallet. Okay, so now from where? From user data, I got to obtain that balance. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I am going to do this. I am going to place it right below here. I am going to do constant token balance. It's gonna be equal to user data dot balance, which is what I exported, right? Okay, and let's see what the output is gonna look like, and we'll go from there, okay? And now I need to pass this data as a use state, so then I can display this in HTML. So if we go up, I gotta do that as well. I gotta do constant, and then token amount, and then get balance, okay? And we're just gonna do use state, and we're gonna say use state, and we're gonna say here. Okay, now I can pass this using get balance, and then I can use whatever output was obtained and show that in HTML. So I'm gonna go to my token balance. Okay, now I got this. Then I'm gonna say get balance is gonna be token balance, okay? And now I can use token amount and display that to the user. I am going to say that if the user doesn't have any balance or nothing gets updated, right? Let's say the user doesn't have an account yet, it's the first time user, I want this to be 0. So what I can do, I can actually specify 0 because it's gonna be the initial state. Unless I change it, then it's just gonna stay in 0, okay? Cool, so now knowing that, I can get balance, token balance, and then I'm gonna pass token amount, right? So I'm gonna say copy, and then let's find that location, the location here. So we need to find where balance is in HTML, and we're just gonna place it right below here, okay? Or next to it, one of those two, okay? So let me go back in index. Let's go to balance. I can type balance, search balance, but that's fine. Here we go, balance. And I believe we are going to be using this one right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place it below H3. I'm going to say the use state value of token amount. Okay, that looks good. And then I want to make sure that get user will be run automatically. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's just run it. Let's pray to God. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, 0 because there's nothing, but it tells me that it works because now first timer means that I haven't created an account, okay? So let's change that. Let's cross fingers because I am going to be calling Mongo database. I'm going to be making a lot of calls on this one, okay? So first name, I'm going to create that new account once again. I'm going to call this Robert Smith, I'm going to say rsmith at a3b.io. Okay. And we are going to update profile, and we are going to cross fingers on this one. Okay. I'm doing this live, by the way. I have this staged, but I am building this live. So I'm going to update profile. Here we go. We're going to confirm. Not allowed to mint. That is interesting because I am allowed to mint. Not allowed to mint. So it tried to mint, but it was not able to. Not allowed to mint. That is interesting because I should be able because I use this wallet. Okay, no worries. No worries. Mint wallet address amount. We'll see. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let me go back to data. It worked. It worked. Awesome. Okay, from first try, first attempt, it actually worked. Why did it not mint the tokens? We got to see. But now we obtain a wallet. The pay wallet is going to be 39, and then this is a private key. Wow, it did work. Awesome. All right. So it did not. So now if I go here, right, and I go here, I'm going to say this. I'm going to paste this guy right here. We did. We got the pay wallet. We got the user ID, and we got the CID. Okay, so if I control add, if I refresh, okay, hex is a big number. 6015. Okay, I know why. It's because the token balance is being passed using a hex. So I have to convert this to string, okay? So check what I'm going to do. I am going to wrap this entire thing, and I'm going to say to string, okay? I'm going to control S, and let's go back again. Refresh. Looking good. Okay, perfect. We don't get the error, and it's passing 0 because there's no balance. But now it's trying to make the call because there's a profile already built. Okay, cool. I don't have a picture, so it's showing me the default IPFS picture. That's great. Everything looks great. The only thing was that it was not able to mint the tokens for some reason, but that's not a problem. We'll fix that. So I'm going to see why. Okay, so I'm going to, let me do the following. I am going to mint, and I'm going to use my Minter wallet, which is this one. I don't know why it didn't work. So I'm going to do this address. I'm going to mint to my account, and I'm going to say 250. So I'm going to, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to copy and paste. Let me get the entire balance that we are going to pass. It goes here, copy. Okay, now we are going to mint what amount? We are going to mint this entire amount, and we are going to transact. It's letting me mint. Let's see. It did mint. So we have to find out why it's not letting me mint. I'm going to try this. I'm going to paste the 250 tokens. And I am going to mint to the pay wallet, okay? So if I mint to the pay wallet, I'm going to mint to this address. I'm going to send those tokens here, copy. And then I'm going to send this, right? And I am going to transact. But remember, I need to be the minter role. I'm going to transact. Now I'm going to mint. I'm going to send it to that wallet, okay? Let's see if it works. We'll go back and see if we can see the 250 tokens. Okay, we minted. Awesome. Now let's go back here and let's give it a shot. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's not showing the right format because I haven't formatted. The output is native way, but it works. It definitely works. Okay, I need to check why I was not able to mint. There was an error. Probably it's not using the right wallet to mint, but we'll fix that. It's the updated wallet. It should be, but we'll see. So I'm gonna fix this real quick, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go back into Web3, and let's build that function to convert from ether to way from way to ether. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write it real quick. It's very simple. We're just going to export another function, export async function, and we're going to say convert way to ETH, right? And then we're going to pass the amount, and then we're going to say constant output equals ethers and then we're going to say utils format ether. This is how you convert. We have this utility in ethers.js, and we are going to convert amount, okay? And I got to return the output, okay? Cool. So we have that. Now I can use this here in the function, and then instead of passing that raw balance, I can actually pass the right balance. So below here, what I'm going to do, I am going to say constant token balance format, and we are going to await convert. It's going to be await convert. There we go. And then what I'm going to pass, the token balance. Okay. And as a matter of fact, let me just, it works like if you leave it like this and then in here is a different name, it doesn't matter because it's just data, but let's just make it consistent. I'm going to say token balance. I'm going to say token balance. That's how I'm passing the data here. I am going to go back here, token balance. And then what I need to pass here, it's the actual format, bal format. Okay. And this should already show, this should show me the right format. Control S and go back. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Alrighty, cool. I have to determine why I was not able to mint. I realized one thing, that the updater wallet and the reason why we were not able to mint custom tokens out of our token smart contract, it's that the minter role was assigned to my deployer wallet, which is this wallet that I have right here. However, I remember that we designated a wallet number, this wallet, we designated this particular wallet to be the updater role, which means that in the application, my private key, the private key belongs to this wallet and not the deployer wallet. So it means that there was no way I could have minted those ERC-20 tokens. And that's the reason why we got the error. We were not able to mint those tokens, okay? So let's do the following. The first thing I'm going to do, I am going to make sure that this wallet has the minter role, okay? So we are just gonna copy this address and we will grant the minter role to that wallet. So let me change myself back to this wallet and let me grant that role. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to, this is the token smart contract. I am going to grant the role. Okay, so we are going to open here. Let me paste the wallet that I want to grant the role, which is this one. And this is the wallet that we have the private key. And we are using the private key to talk to the user database smart contract. That is the wallet that is allowed to write into the smart contract, okay? So now what I have to do, I have to grant the minter role to this account. So then it can also mint tokens, okay? So what I gotta do, I gotta find that minter role right here. Let's copy the value, copy this, and let's drop it right here, okay? Now we're going to transact, and I am going to execute. And once that's done, we should be good. So let's go ahead and build a different account. Let's build another account. We're just gonna create another user profile, okay? So first things first, well, let's go back to the app, okay? And we will provide the new wallet. Let's see if this wallet has NFTs. I don't think so. Let's see. It looks like it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna refresh, and now we should see, because it's a brand new account, we should see, first time user and all that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Refresh. Sure enough, brand new account, but I got NFT ID number 2. So that's why I'm not kicked out of the platform. I have an NFT from the collection. Awesome, this is a great test. We are going to test everything here. We're going to test to build the account, add all the user details, add the picture, update profile, then we will generate that new custom ERC wallet, and we should obtain 250 tokens, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna type here the first name. We're just gonna call this Martha, okay? It's called Smith. We're gonna do M Smith, that's the username, and then msmith@a3b.io, and we will update profile. Once we do this, we should obtain those 250 ERC-20 tokens and the custom wallet, okay? So Update profile and cross fingers. And from 63 to A1. It's like, for some reason, it's actually passing this address as the updater wallet, and that should not be the case. Let's take a look here real quick. Let me go into Web3 Connect, and we will add an account. User contract. Confirm user. And user contract, confirm user. Let me make sure that this user, it's a function that is allowed by anyone. Confirm user. Yeah, should be allowed by anyone. Okay, so that's not the problem. Let's see here. And create profile. User contract create. Oh, I see the problem. So user contract, I am importing this from ETH Connect, okay? Which means that this is being called by the designer. What did we mention? We are not allowing the end user to build its own or write to the smart contract. We are using the updater wallet for that. That's why it's missing. That's why it's failing, okay? So let's fix that. So what I'm gonna do, I am going to import the user contract, which is this value is actually using the updater wallet, which is this wallet right here. So this is the right call. I should not be using the other one, but I should be using this, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to be using this value instead of the user contract, which is just to call into the user database, but just to make read functions, not to write, okay? So I just have to use this instead. That's the issue, okay? So let me go back. This one right here, user contract. We're just gonna replace this with the user contract with the updater wallet. Okay, so let's go back, okay? And let's give it a shot one more time, okay? Let me switch myself back to that wallet. And this is the wallet, okay? I'm gonna refresh and everything should stay normal. No account was made, okay? So we're gonna type first name, Martha, once again. Last name, it's going to be Smith, M Smith at a3b.io. And let's look at this. Update profile. Woohoo! Profile updated. That means that it went through everything. It stored the information for that user. It should have made a private ERC wallet, an internal wallet, and it should also have minted those 250 ERC-20 tokens because it actually gave the message that the profile got updated. Let's refresh the browser. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. Awesome. Alrighty. We are definitely getting somewhere. We got the wallet. This is the browser wallet. And we now have 250 ERC tokens, custom ERC-20 tokens deposited into this account. Okay. We are going to update the picture because this is the default IPFS picture if the user hasn't uploaded their own picture. So let's go ahead and browse. We're going to choose this picture right here. Okay. And I should have like a message saying picture updated, right? So we know, but we got a CID. That's the picture CID. We should be good. Let's refresh. There we go. There we go. Awesome. 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 Perfect. Cool. Now we are good. The user has the 250 custom ERC-20 tokens, first name, last name, username, and email address. And we got the profile picture. Now let's do the last two functions. The function to migrate the wallet, which is very simple. All we have to provide is the old wallet and the new wallet. The old wallet, I don't even have to provide it because the moment I click update wallet, we are just going to use the current MetaMask address as the old wallet address. And we are just going to ask the user to provide me the new wallet, okay? What we are going to do is that we need to allow the user, or we need to enable the migration of this particular NFT to the new wallet. Because remember, the moment we migrate that account to a different wallet, let's say the user doesn't have any NFTs in that wallet, they're not going to be able to log in because they don't have an NFT. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we migrate this quote passport to the other wallet. So then when the user connects using the new wallet, they have the same NFT and they can connect and all the details should be there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. And finally, we'll do the transfer into the R to the user's wallet. Okay, let's do that. So the user will be able to withdraw the funds to its personal wallet. Cool, awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to do another function, export async function. So we can use this in the front end, async function, and we're going to say migrate profile. Okay, we are going to open and close. We are going to open here and write this on migrate profile. Okay, the first thing we have to do is we have to tell, hey, the new wallet address. And the user is going to give us that information because the user will paste that wallet into that field and we will obtain the value and then we will proceed to migrate that profile, okay? And then the NFT ID, okay? I'm going to explain why. We need to make a call so that we can transfer the NFT as well. So the user will have a prompt to approve the platform for moving those NFTs to the new wallet. So it's going to be a set approval for all. So then it proceeds to migrate that NFT to the new wallet as well. So then the user, when it reconnects, everything is good because it has an NFT on the wallet and he or she can continue using that account. Okay. And we start with user wallet or user data. Remember, we're always going to be starting with that, with this function right here. I'm just copy and paste. Okay. And we are going to say the following. We're going to say constant. And we will say, we need the NFT address, right? We need to have the NFT smart contract address because we have to migrate that as well. So the NFT contract, I can actually use this value. That's fine. This is the address that I need to work with. Actually, no, I am going to be using the NFT contract, okay? Because I need to make that call to transfer the token, okay? The NFT. So NFT contract, cool. And we're going to say NFT contract is going to be equal user data. Remember, we are exporting that contract from, or we are returning that when the function executes. So we will obtain that there. And now we need to also obtain the current token, the current wallet address. Okay, this is the MetaMask wallet. And this is how we do it. We do this always address string. Let me just use it right here. Cool. And then we have to await, okay? Now we are going to call the NFT collection smart contract to allow that user to migrate that NFT. And we're going to say transfer from, okay? We are now going to say from the old wallet address string to the new wallet. And you might say, well, how do we obtain that value? The user will paste the new wallet in the front end. And at the end, we have to specify what NFT does the user want to migrate. And we will auto-populate this because we already know what NFT ID is the user holding. We are showing that to the user. So we will use that same ID to migrate to the new wallet. That's it, okay? And after we're done with that, we are going to also import the user database smart contract, but then this call is going to be paid by the end user. Okay, so this will be the user contract equals. We are exporting it from user data because that is a return from user data, like we did with the NFT contract. And now I can effectively say the following. I can say await user CTR contract, and then I can say migrate, that's the name of the function, profile, okay? And we are just going to provide the new wallet, okay? And we coded, remember in the smart contract video, the user smart contract video, we coded a function that it's just going to migrate, read all the details from the smart contract, and then move that to the new wallet, and then delete the old wallet, okay? Cool. And at the end, I just need to say return complete. So I know that it finished. Return complete. Okay, cool. So we got that. Let me just save. Now we are going to import my migrate profile into index. So we have to say, we want to provide the user a message that says migration completed or something like that, okay? So what I got to do, I am going to generate a new function. We're going to say async function migrate account, okay? And then we are going to say result. Let's just say constant, result equals, and now we are going to await and import that function of migrate profile that we built in Web3 Connect. So it's going to be migrate profile. And there you go. And now we should have migrate profile somewhere here. There we go, migrate profile. As a matter of fact, I like to do this so that the code is cleaner to read. Let me just do this. Those are all my functions. And you can see I'm not even using this and that, so I can take it out. So, but we'll fix it at the end. As a matter of fact, I'm not even using it connect. So it's just going to be this. It's going to be this. That looks perfect. Very clean. Okay. So those are every single function that we coded in Web3 Connect. We are just importing it here. Okay. So now we got migrate account, right? Now I want to show to the end user that the account was migrated successfully. So when the user decides to update the wallet, meaning that he wants to move the account to the new wallet, we want to show, hey, migration completed. And I can show this right below here, right? Or next to it. So update wallet, let's find that. Let's attach the button, and then let's add an ID so that we can pass some text like we did with profile updated, okay? It's my longest video. First of all, let's find update wallet, update profile. No, it's not this. It's going to be, where are you? Okay, so there's an icon. There's an ID called wallet success. So let's go ahead and grab that because we're going to be using this info. So wallet success, and it's already there. So I'm just going to, this is the button that we need to call. As a matter of fact, let's do it now. On click, and we are going to attach this to the function, migrate account, okay? Okay, this is cool. Now let's go up. And we are going to pass the information. Let me just copy this because we're going to use this value. Okay, and now confirmation. Then I got to say here, wallet success. Okay, and then wallet migrated. Let's just call this to wallet migrated. Awesome. And so in fact, I don't need result. So I'm just awaiting that to finish. Then confirmation. Well, actually I should, because I want to confirm that it's completed successfully, which means that I have to do if result equals completed, right? That's what the result should return after making that call. Then we want to do this. Please show all that, right? And then we can say else if something happened unsuccessful, something like that, right? And then we can say migration failed. Okay, so it means that if I got this result, and we can go back into Web3 Connect, and I should be expecting that return, right? I got to pass the new wallet address. Okay, that's one thing that we miss. Okay, so we have to pass that value inside here. And also we have to pass the NFT ID. So the new wallet, it's going to be provided by the user. So what we need to do is we need to get the wallet value. So 1 second, let's go back here. Where are you? Personal wallet, okay? And input, here we go. The name, it's going to be, NID is going to be new wallet, okay? So what I got to do, I am going to attach this to a document, and then I can get that information out, okay? So I am going to leverage the update profile here because this is what I need to get, right? I'm just going to get this information, and then I'm going to pass the info into here, and I'm going to say new wallet. Okay. And then we are going to call this new wallet. That is the value that we have in the input element. So let's go back down here to confirm. Yeah, ID, new wallet. Okay, so we are expecting that value. And new wallet, value to string, perfect. And now new wallet has to be passed here because if we go back into Web3 Connect, this is the first value that it's expecting to process the entire call. Then we have to pass the NFT ID, but that's easy because we already have the NFT ID from the get state, the use state, sorry. Okay, so now we are going to pass the first value, which is new wallet, right? And then the next value is the NFT ID. How can we obtain the NFT ID? Very easy. Let's find how we are populating this ID right here. So let me go back. And what we need to do, we need to go back here, and there you go, NFT ID. That's the value that we're obtaining, and that's how we can display that number. So all I have to do is type NFT ID here. And we are effectively moving the NFT to this new wallet as well, because I am passing that entire function in Web3 Connect. Okay, cool. So I am going to migrate the account, and then I'm going to make sure that the button has that function attached. It does. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to Control S and make sure the Web3 Connect is also saved. Sweet, awesome. Now I am going to do the following. Okay, so now we should get prompts because now this is completely up to the user. The user must pay the transaction fees and all that. Okay, this one has Matic. Okay, so what I got to do, I want to migrate to this account. Okay, this account doesn't have NFTs. I'm pretty sure it does not. So I'm just going to copy this here. That's the wallet address that I want to migrate to. And let me go back to my current wallet because I need to migrate from that wallet. Okay. And this is the current wallet. Awesome. All right. Awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. What I'm going to do, I am going to hit update wallet and we'll see what happens. If everything goes well, I should see here wallet migrated. Okay. Let's do it. There we go. NFT collection, and it's asking me NFT ID. And now I need to pay the transfer from. Okay, so it's asking me for transfer from. Okay, so we are going to, actually, do I have to set approval for all? I think I do. Let's see. Yes, there we go. And now this is the transaction fee to migrate the profile. Okay, let's see what happens. Both confirmations. Guess what? We got kicked out because I migrated the NFT to the new wallet. Okay, so that's good. It should happen. Okay, and the user doesn't have any account because I migrated every single detail to the new wallet. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch myself to that new wallet. I'm going to migrate myself to the new wallet and refresh the page. I'm going to click here, and we are going to go back. Look at that. The balance, the new wallet, the NFT. There you go. Actually, NFT, that means that this wallet had another NFT because this is ID 4. And now the user must have ID 2 as well. But that other wallet doesn't have any more NFTs, okay? So now we migrated. I think that wallet had already an NFT, but it didn't have an account. So yeah, there you go. That's the new personal wallet. I still have the 250 custom tokens because I migrated that pay wallet as well to this new user. Yeah, everything looks good. Awesome. All right, cool. One last thing and we're done. Let's allow the user to transfer those custom ERC-20 tokens to its personal MetaMask wallet, okay, to this wallet, okay? Let's do it. Let's build one last function, and this function is to transfer those tokens. And for this function, we have to do something different. We are going to be using getAccount because I am going to, as a matter of fact, I don't need to. Let's do this real quick. Let's call this export async function transfer tokens, okay? This is going to allow me to transfer ERC-20 tokens. And now we start everything with user data with ETH Connect, and that's where we find that token smart contract. Okay, we're going to say here, boom. Okay, now from user data, I need to obtain two things. I need to obtain the ERC-20 wallet, and I need to obtain the new pay wallet, okay? So with that said, I gotta say the following. I am going to obtain the current wallet, so constant, as a matter of fact, I can use this right here. But now I am going to also obtain the pay wallet, okay? So with that said, I can do one of the things. I can just obtain it from ETH Connect as well, because I am already making those calls here, so might as well do that, or I can just do it from here, which is fine. So I'm going to say constant pay wallet, and then what I have to do, pay wallet, I only have to do the following. I got to call the smart contract and obtain the pay wallet, which is a user CID, okay? So in order for me to get this value, I am expecting user CID 2. So let me use this value right here, right? Which is the same. It's going to go to the same database in the blockchain and obtain the information for that user account, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to do user CID. And from user CID, I should be able to obtain the pay wallet. So if you can see right here, okay, right here, user CID, position number 2 should give me the pay wallet, okay? Okay, that's the pay wallet. Or no, I got the user's wallet and I got the internal wallet. I got the internal wallet and the user's wallet. So now I can say from this account, send it to this account. Basically, that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to find how much do I need to transfer. How do I do that? I just called the token smart contract and I got this here already. So I'm going to explain to you. I am going to be calling amount await token contract. Token contract, it's going to be called from the blockchain. So I have to call token contract here. It's all lowercase. We're done. We are done. Okay. Token contract, balance of pay wallet. Pay wallet is the information obtained from the user's smart contract, the user database. Okay. So I'm going to say pay wallet and I'm going to get to string. So it converts the amount to string. Okay. Now that amount, I need to do one thing. I am going to obtain data from this is how I am going to obtain the private key, because without the private key, I cannot make this transfer. Where did we store the private key for that wallet? In Mongo database. That's where we have the information. So what I have to do now, I have to make sure that I send the address, right? And then I can do the transfer, okay? And we are going to call getPayInfo, right? And we should be able to find one, and it's going to give me the information that I need. From there, I should be able to obtain the private key. And this is the function that we did to read the private key from Mongo database, okay? So we are going to say getPayInfo, address string, okay? This is the information that we will pass to this function. So I have to call this. So private key, getPayInfo, user wallet. This is literally the information. I am going to say, instead of user wallet, I got to call address here. Okay, because it's this one right here. This is the user wallet that is connected to the platform. Okay, and I got to do the same thing here. Okay, cool. Now we should obtain the private key, because that's the return from Mongo database. Private key right here, and we are now going to make that call ourselves to the token smart contract. I have a token contract. Let me go back into config. Here we go. Token contract. Let's use this value right here. Okay. So we are going to now do that transfer. We are going to, but here's the thing. I need to, okay, this is the tricky part. I cannot use the updated wallet because the updated wallet is not owning those 250 tokens. We have to make the call using the private key, which means that I have to build a completely separate function just to transfer the 250 tokens because I am assuming that I hold the wallet. I own the wallet keys. So I am the one who needs to do that call, okay? So with that said, I have to build the entire call to the RPC, right? So in this case, I have to import the RPC address. I have to build this entire thing, but then I need to use that new private key. I cannot use the updated wallet because that wallet is not holding the 250 tokens. It's the new private key of the wallet for that user, which means that I have to use the RPC address. I have to build this whole thing only for this particular case, okay? And this is the last function, okay? So what I gotta do, I am going to make sure that the RPC is exported. So if not, we are going to export it right now. I'm gonna save it here. And I should be able, as a matter of fact, I even should be able to do this to export the provider, but that's fine. I am going to do here. I'm just gonna grab that RPC, right? And now I can use the RPC down here, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is constant. Let's do constant, and we will say provider, and we will call this new ethers providers, and then we'll say JSON RPC provider, and then we will pass the RPC address just like what we were doing. And I'm just gonna do equals, okay, awesome. Now I gotta build the wallet. So constant wallet equals new ethers wallet, and now we are passing the private key of that wallet and the provider of that key and the provider of the call, or in this case, the connection to the blockchain. Wallet, and then I gotta say let token contract, okay? And we are going to say new ethers, and we will build the entire contract. Contract call, I would say, sorry. And we will say ethers, let me just grab this whole thing. We have to replace the last. Cannot be the signer, it has to be the wallet that we just built right here, okay? Cool, so we are sending it using this wallet, perfect. Now we should be able to transfer from that private internal wallet to the user's wallet. And now I am going to say, and then I am going to be transferring to where? To the MetaMask wallet that the user got connected. This is how we're going to allow the user to transfer those funds to its personal wallet, okay? So what I gotta do, I gotta pass this as the wallet that I wanna transfer to those NFT, those ERC-20 tokens, and then the amount, okay? And finally, we need to make sure that that call got done successfully, okay? How are we gonna do that? By awaiting transfer dot wait, okay? Once we're done with that, then we can say if, same thing, receive. That means that you complete it, right? Return to me complete. So then I can determine, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, this should be the call, okay? This is the entire call. Now receive, return, complete, okay? I'm gonna control S. Now we're gonna go to index, and I have to import that call. But then I want to also do very similar to what I did in my migrate account. I want to make sure that the transfer is successful, and we show transfer completed or something. Okay, so I'm gonna say yes here, transfer ERC. Then I am going to see where the balance is. Okay, and we do have a display ID, so we're just going to use this one, okay? Display transfer. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do here, display transfer. Actually, I don't need this. All I need to do is invoke constant result as a matter of fact, I got it down here. I am going to call the transfer token. There we go. That's the function that we did. And we are good. I don't need to pass any data because it's just gonna get this from the connection to the block to the wallet. And now if the result is completed, similar to what we did on migrate profile. Oh, this one it's yeah, I gotta just type it here. Completed. And now if the result is completed, then tokens transferred. Okay. So let's say token transfer completed. Okay. And now we're going to say that display transfer, I think that was the name, right? Token transfer, display transfer. Okay. So we need to pass this information. We are going to say display transfer. Else, if it doesn't, then I want to say transfer failed. And we're going to display it on the same location, transfer failed. Okay. Now we have to attach this button to the object, or attach the function to the button. So button, where's the button? There we go, button right here. I gotta do on click. On click, and I'm going to say transfer ERC. That's the function. And press S, and we're done. We are done, ladies and gentlemen. Cool. Now, what I have to do, I have to make sure that the account is ready to go. Okay. Okay, a moment of truth. Let's see. Let's see. Now we should be able to move those custom ERC-20 tokens from the internal application wallet to the user's MetaMask, okay? So let me go ahead and do one thing. I want to import the contract address so that we can catch live when the user obtains the tokens, okay? Let's do it. Let me copy the token smart contract, okay? And let me go ahead and add that into the wallet. Okay, so we are going to go to Assets, Import Contract Address. We should get that symbol right here into the R. Awesome. Add Custom Token and Import Tokens. Now we need to wait and see if this button works. Let's see if it does work. I am going to click and then I'm going to watch here. Okay. So we're just gonna click and see, okay? Transfer. And I realized something, that I'm missing one last thing here. User contract, that is obtained from here as well. So let's just build that real quick. Constant user CTR, it's equals to user data, user CTR. There you go, awesome. This should be good to go. Let's do it again, let's give it a shot. And let's see. Let's make sure that we got the NFT, the tokens awaiting the transfer. Let's see if this works. Because I am calling this, and this is already being called here. So I should label this differently. Okay, so let's just see. Let's just do token CTR here. Contract token CTR. I should do it. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Get pay info, it's not defined, at least now, not the issue. Get pay info, it's not defined. Get pay info, it's not defined. Let's see, why. That is the information from Mongo database. That's how I'm going to store the private key. And get pay info, am I importing this? I sure not. Get pay info, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna Control S. And make sure that everything looks good here. Yeah, get pay info. Yeah, everything should be good. Let's go back, get pay info. Yeah, let's see if we're lucky. And I am going to make sure that I have the end to the yard already listed. Perfect. Now we're going to click and see if that works. Let's see. It looks like it. If we see update here, nope. And let's say, and oh, I know why. That wallet needs to have some matic, so then the transaction is run successfully. Okay, so what I'm going to do a small video just to add a little bit of tokens, so then this wallet can perform a transaction successfully, because this wallet is a brand new wallet. There's no matic in this wallet, and we've been using the Mumbai testnet, so it means that I need to send a couple of matic test matic to this wallet to make this happen. So what I'm going to do for this demonstration, I am going to drop some ERC-20 tokens, some test matic, so then we can do the transaction so you can see. I'll do a separate video just to make sure that we add a function that from a master wallet, we will provide nothing. It's very little matic, because this is a layer 2 blockchain, which transaction fees are going to be very, very low. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. For now, what I'm going to do, I am going to obtain the matic address. So I'm going to do here, collections. And what I need to do now, I'm going to go to profiles, and we will copy this wallet address. This is a new wallet, okay? The wallet that is holding the 250 tokens. It's this one right here. So what I got to do now, I'm going to go to my MetaMask, and I'm going to transfer some test tokens to that wallet. So I'm going to do the following. I'm going to send, right? I'm going to send to this wallet. This is the internal wallet. I'm going to send 0.05. Okay, and I'm going to do this, and cool. Now, once this is done, we'll give it a shot again. It should work. Okay, transfer has been completed. Okay, now let's go back to assets, and let's give it a shot. Let's press here, let's see. We should get an update. There we go, token transfer completed. Wait for that. Wait for that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There you go. Web3, 2 words, the future, no doubt about it. So that's it for this video. Stick around. We're building a DAO. We're doing an ERC lottery, and we are going to be integrating this amazing Web3 User Profile App, because that's the whole idea, to start using this across the board. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you like what I teach you in this amazing tutorial. And if you do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you have been subscribed to. Hey, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.